King Street. Today is Tuesday, April 21st, 2026, time 5:30 p.m. This meeting is held in person and live streamed on YouTube channel at the City of Kinston, available for viewing on KTV, the local government channel 2. At this time, we would like to call on your agenda. You have Pastor Darnell Whitfield. He's not here today, but we have Apostle Nancy Wade, Just Do It for Christ, Inc. She's going to come forth with a prayer. Thank you, Ms. Wade.
To God be all the glory for the things he has done. Father God, we just come to you some as we know how. We thank you for this beautiful day that you have bestowed upon us. We thank you for all of our hearts being in unity today, Lord. We just thank you for the privilege to be able to come to this mount, Lord, and give you praise. Hallelujah. We thank you, God, for our mayor. We thank you for the city council. We thank you for everybody who's in attendance. We ask that you cover us under the blood of Jesus. Keep us, Father God, and we'll be kept. Bless us, Father God, and we'll be blessed. In Jesus' name we ask and pray and give thanks. Amen.
Thank you. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Hardy,
Present.
Councilmember Aiken, Mayor Pro Tem Solomon, Councilmember Seaforth. Present. And we have Councilmember Lipford, who will be late.
All present accounted for. At this time, we'll go into the citizens' comment section of the meeting. Citizens must sign in before the start of the meeting if they wish to address the city council. Citizens should state their name and address before beginning their comments and may speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. Citizens seeking assistance for or asking questions will be contacted by a member of the governing body or appropriate city staff. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone for citizens' comments?
Yes, Jeanette Blue.
Ms. Blue.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. I'm standing here today because I just want to thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Blue,
and the
hold on just a minute, Ms. Blue.
Okay.
Could you state your name and your address,
Okay.
please? Thank you.
My name is Jeanette Blue. I'm at 615 Marcella Drive, Kinston, North Carolina. But, okay, Mr. Mayor, I had come, I think last month or month before, and I was complaining about an abandoned house that I had been complaining about to the council for so many different times. But this time, I received a call the next day, and I was really appreciative of that it was taken, my matter was taken seriously, and something was done about it. So all my questions, person who called me, he answered it. I had some more questions, he answered that, and now I know where I stand here in Kinston. I feel like I'm a citizen here, you know, because I presently lived in Maryland, and I've only been here 6 years. But before, that my block was not really a good block. But now I see the police are going back and forth. So I have seen positive changes since you have been on board. And I thank you.
God bless you. Thank you, Ms. Blue.
Hinda Moore.
Ms. Moore.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, City Manager, City Clerk, City Attorney. My name is Hinda Moore. My address is 507 East Bright Street. There are a few topics that I would like to speak about. One, Kinston 101 class. Citizens that attended the Kinston 101 class was very satisfied with the knowledge gained while attending these classes months ago. I, for one, was not able to attend this class due to other obligations. I'm not quite sure how many times a year Kinston 101 class is held. If it's only held once a year, I'm asking all of the members to please take serious consideration in offering this class twice a year so that others can gain the necessary knowledge of how local government operates. Two, safe havens. Lenore County is not a very large county considering the population of neighboring counties. Lenore County has never recovered from those disastrous storms that uprooted the livelihood of some of the citizens. Years have gone by, and the population is steadily growing in Lenore County. Safe haven is a critical need, and safe haven is at its all-time high. It's a blessing for citizens to know our city manager and other board members can set themselves before us, and they can acknowledge that the city and county officials can greet and meet at the table for serious discussions that are needed for growth. We know that these things will not happen overnight, but we know that all of you are aiming high during the demolition process. I totally agree 100% with Ms. Quala Blackwell on some of her arguments. The time is now, and the time is not later. Citizens need some type of safe haven for all. Spending allocated funds for this purpose when domestic violence is at an all-time high is well worth the cause. Domestic violence against young women, older women, and underage children is out of control. These people feel left alone, hurt, scarred, and trapped. It could be you, me, your child, my child. No one is exempt because things can happen unexpectedly or within a blink of an eye. Physically and mental abuse is very hurtful. We all have feelings. Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you, Ms. Hinda. Madam Clerk, do we have anybody else? Ms. Blackwell.
Good evening, you guys. My name is Carla Blackwell. My address is 804 Chestnut Street. And I'm here tonight speaking not just for myself, but for a number of concerned citizens who are paying close attention to what's happening in our city. Let me start here. I've been sent many screenshots regarding our newly elected planning board members not only assassinating my character, but the character of people that are young ladies that are building communities on their own with nobody help. Let's make this clear. When I speak as an individual. Everybody appointed or in these seats on board members, they are speaking on behalf of the city. They can't say what I say. They can't argue with how I feel because you guys appointed them. That's litigation for the city. That's liability for the city. And the planning board is a very powerful board. If you can't show if you are showing partiality and people questioning how you got there, then how good are you going to do there? Let's get to the money. I had the pleasure of going to the county commissioners meeting on yesterday, and I saw these guys put over $10 million in the NCIP for investment. As I studied last night, I saw that they put over $6 million in there back in January. So this year alone, and we haven't even got to June, they've put over $16 million of idle money. And I always talk about my grandmother, anything idle is the devil's workshop. I'm asking you guys to find out what are they going to do with this money? What are they investing it for? And more importantly, why they keep asking us to meet them halfway on projects when they got all this money sitting here. I watched that meeting, It looks like they would rather put 16 million in an investment fund than to invest in our schools, invest in housing, invest in jobs. And I got a problem with it. I hope you guys find one with it. Thank you, Mr. Clark, for meeting with me. I appreciate your time and the conversation. But since I left that meeting, there's two things that stood out to me. When I talked about investing money in the least of thee, you shut all of that down. When I talked about helping fund the Juneteenth parade, instantly, I'm not going to spend money on that. It's not yours. Which leads me to the next thing. I thought the council, we elected you guys to find out what we needed and take it to the city manager, not just let them hand down budgets and we agree.
Ms. Blackwell,
And
your
if that's
time
my
is up.
time. Before,
Thank
on
you.
my way, my last thing
Thank you,
is,
Ms. Blackwell, your time is
we
up.
were notified
Ms.
this
Blackwell,
weekend
your
that your
time is up.
behavior is
Thank you, Ms.
unacceptable
Blackwell,
in the
your time is up.
community. We want you to fix it, because you make us
Your
look
time is
bad.
up, Ms. Blackwell. Thank you. Have a seat. Madam Clerk, would there be anybody else for citizen comments?
No, sir.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we'll move to adopting of the agenda. This time, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
Motion?
Motion by Councilmember Hardy. Second by Councilmember Leopard. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Move on to the minutes, Madam Clerk.
The minutes will be presented at the next meeting, sir, which is May 19th.
Okay, thank you. Our next order of business has been long overdue. With us tonight, we have the Kinston High School men's basketball team. And the Kinston High School men's football team. Okay, Coach, at this time, we have here resolution honoring the Kinston High School men's varsity football team as the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 2025 Championship 3A runners-up. Whereas the Kinston High School varsity team has shown exceptional dedication, talent, and sportsmanship throughout the season, and whereas the team displayed remarkable skill and teamwork in competing at the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Championship, earning the title of runner-ups, and whereas the efforts of the players, coaching staff, and the support from the Kinston community have been instrumental in achieving this significant milestone, and whereas this accomplishment reflects the hard work and perseverance of all individuals involved, fostering a spirit of unity and pride within the school and community. And now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the City of Kinston City Council, do hereby commend and congratulate the Kinston High School varsity football team, the coaching staff, and the entire school community for their outstanding performance in the NCHCS AA Championship, and be it further resolved that we recognize this achievement as a source of inspiration for current and future teams, as well as a testament to the commitment to excellence in athletics at Kinston High School, and be it finally resolved that we, Mayor Kareem S. Moore, and the Kinston City Council encourage continued support for our student athletes and celebrate their contributions to our community, spirit, and pride. Adopted this 21st day of April, 2026. One more time? Okay. So we don't have you guys getting back up. Resolution honoring the Kinston High School men's varsity basketball team for winning the North Carolina High School Athletic Association 2026 3A championship. What's up? Whereas the Kinston High School basketball team has demonstrated outstanding dedication, teamwork, and sportsmanship throughout the season. Whereas the team has successfully navigated a challenging schedule and faced formidable opponents, ultimately showcasing their skill and resilience. Whereas the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Championship 3A bracket held on March 13, 2026, where the team clinched the 3A state championship title, was a testament to their hard work and determination. Whereas the players, coaching staff, and supportive families have contributed to this significant achievement, reflecting the spirit and pride of the Kinston High School community. Whereas the success of the team has inspired fellow students, faculty, and the local community, fostering a sense of unity and school spirit. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, Mayor Kareem S. Moore, and the Kinston City Council proudly congratulate the Kinston High School basketball team for their outstanding accomplishment in winning the 2026 state championship, adopted this 21st day of April 2026.
Call them up one at a time. I could call them one at a time. I think so, yeah.
All right, can we have the football team first, please?
You want me to hold?
Yeah, they called him that.
Big T, Big T. Boys, boys. Come on, coach. You know you gotta get in there. Come on, y'all close in now. Y'all turn to the end. You might have to turn in a little bit so you can get it in. Yeah, I need you to say something.
I just would love to thank you guys for taking the time to do this and recognize these guys. We had a track meet today. That's why the numbers were down. But both these teams, I've said it before, the football team cast a division for us, and they had our guys talking about what they achieved, and I give them a lot of credit. I know it didn't end the way they wanted to, but they paved the way for us this year. And then our guys, I talked about it in an interview today, our guys just found a way this year, and we fought through various things along the way, and I think that's the most proud I am of them, is that what they accomplished this year is something that will translate in their life, because life's going to come at us. We all know that. And the same things we overcame at times this year, I think they'll be able to look back and say, you know what, in our journey when we did something that is historical in the city of Kinston, they'll look back and say, you know what, my life's tough right now, but I remember how I kept fighting and I kept doing the right things, and these guys are going to lean on that. But what both these teams have done is historical, and thank you all for what you do for us in our community, and thanks for your support for everybody in here.
One more time, Kinston Athletic.
Hey, Coach, don't be mad, 'cause I called a few fouls on the fellas.
Take care, Coach. Be safe, guys. Teamwork makes the dream work. Thank you.
You had her 3 minutes of fame.
Okay, we move on with the agenda. Our first item on the action agenda is consider approval of fiscal year ending June 30, 2026 audit contract. Ms. Donna Goodson.
Thank you, Mayor. In your packet is a contract with RHCPA's PLLC to audit our accounts for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026. The contract fee is approximately up to $87,500, depending on any additional federal or state single audit requirements. The audit report due date is December 31st, 2026. The contract must be approved and signed by the city and forwarded to the LGC and approved before any interim field work may begin. So what we're asking you to do tonight is authorize the city manager and myself to execute the contract.
Okay. Council, any questions?
I just have one question. A citizen asked me, what's the difference between this type of audit and a forensic audit? Can you expound on what a forensic audit is?
Well, we've never had one, so that's a good thing. It's usually a request when they're asking for, they think there's some specific misfunding. And they have that, and that the state would come back normally and request that we have a forensic audit done. It's not something that we would normally request unless we, an example would be if we think there may be fraud or there may be embezzlement from a employee or a council member. We may ask that someone come in and do a forensic audit for a specific group of monies, not the entire financial statement, not the entire audit or the entire records of a city, but on specific funding.
And there's a cost effect.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
There would be a cost associated with that, yes. This audit is conducted per LGC requirements and the AICPA requirements, as well as the NCA CPA. So there's a lot of checks and balances, and there's a lot of testing that the auditors are required to do. And in addition, because we do have single audit, because we do have federal and state monies, they even have compliance audits, making sure that we comply with the contracts for that federal and state funding.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Any more questions from the council? Hardy? Solomon? Les? Ms. Seaforth? Nobody? Okay, at this time I entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Hardy, a second. Second by Councilmember Seaforth. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried to approve the consideration of the audit contract. Next item, consider approval of final contract price through Sourcewell for the new fire engine. Chief Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Good evening. We came to you last meeting and got approval to go through Sourcewell for the purchase of one E1 Typhoon pumper. When I carried that decision back to the vendor unfortunately informed me that E1 as a corporation had a 4.5% price increase. So that changed our overall number. Not a lot in the grand scheme of things. It was $44,000 for the price increase. You'll see in your packet that letter explaining that. You will also see a letter from the vendor. It's basically an assurance letter letting us know that once the manager and I sign and execute the contract for that build number, there should be no more price increases until we deliver the truck, okay? I got reassurance from him on the first truck that council has approved in the previous year. There was no price increase imposed on that truck because we were in a contract. So as soon as we get this one signed and executed, then we will be locked in at this current price that is in this packet that I gave you, which increases the price of the truck to the amount of $1,034,000. Like I said, which is a $44,000 price increase. I still believe, based on the current market prices and situations and talking with other chiefs, if you were to go away from Sourcewell and go back out to bid, the numbers for that same truck would probably be closer to $1.2, $1.3 million. Any questions? Yes.
So we didn't come under contract, so that's why they went up on the rate increase. And I seen 200 more thousand added to it. What was
Yes, that is for the equipment to equip the truck. Manager Clark and I had a conversation, and he encouraged me to go ahead and have that put into the budget ordinance so that it will be there when the truck arrives and we can properly equip it so it can provide the service. Because when you buy it, we're buying it, there will be nothing in it. I mean, there's going to be no equipment. So we're talking 3 years down the road. We might be able to use some older equipment, but that's really not the idea. When you buy a new truck, you want to put the newest, safest equipment on it for our employees and our citizens.
So the 200,000 is gonna be suffice to equip everything, or if you don't use the 200,000, there's still the budget there for to use whatever you need to get, and that's it.
Yes, that's
yeah.
what we try to do is cover the total cost, the truck and the equipment that goes on it, in one project ordinance.
Yep.
All right, got it.
It's the same thing we did with the first truck that council previous adopted. There was an allotment for the price of the actual physical vehicle, and then there was an allotment for the equipment that was associated with that. And it was all put in one project budget just to keep it cleaner for finance. I'm sure Ms. Donna can elaborate on that, but when it's in that one ordinance, it's probably a lot easier.
Got it.
Chief, how long did it take them to move the needle on the price of the truck?
Yeah.
It seems like the longer we wait to buy one, it
You ain't
kind
lying.
of goes up on us a little bit. Is that what's happening?
Well, he said because the trucks are mostly made out of aluminum,
Right.
it's very market dependent.
Okay.
And I mean, I feel their pain in one sense because I understand what labor costs are and I understand that fuel costs are up and materials are going up. So I'm really hoping that once we get this executed, we're done. I mean, we'll be locked in on this one. Now, the bad thing is when you look into the future, as we spoke about before, there's other apparatus that have to be replaced. We can anticipate that prices are only going to increase as years extend, which that trickles down to everything. I mean, you go to the grocery store, a gallon of milk doesn't cost what it did before, so.
So we just need to lock this contract in as soon as possible.
Yes, sir. And that is the action item tonight is I'm asking for approval at this price with the equipment in the capital project and allowing Manager Clark and myself to sign and execute this contract tomorrow.
We get a lot of our aluminum from Canada, and with those tariffs, a lot of that aluminum cost went up. But my question is, I never heard of a fire truck recently, since I've been on the council, been in a traffic accident. Have you ever had any traffic accidents with your fire trucks?
In what time period?
Over the last 10 years?
Yeah, we have some minor ones.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Not why we had to replace the whole fire truck.
No, not where we were having to replace it. We're replacing these because of their age. This truck, when it comes in, is gonna replace one that'll end up being 37 years old, so.
Okay, any more questions?
I have one.
Ms. Seaforth?
Yes.
What about the title and tax? Was that also included?
Title and tax.
Title and tax for the fire truck.
Yes.
Is that also inclusive?
I believe the sales tax is inclusive in the price, but the tags, we handled that through our fleet account once we physically receive the vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question.
Thank you.
Good deal. Any more questions? More questions?
So so we will have, if additional monies are needed, we will have enough to accommodate those items then? The tags and the title?
Ms. Goodson, if I'm correct, this a finance, vehicle, right? We financing this vehicle, correct?
That is to be determined.
Yeah.
Once the vehicle is here and we see what our fund balance is and if we need to go out and get bids for a loan. Right now, we'll be using the revenue source for the project will be fund balance, but we can always go in and do an intention to reimburse ourselves through financing.
It's an option you'll have at the end. At this point, we're thinking that we would, for the purpose of the capital project orders, we will put fund balance in there. And all it does is change fund balance from unrestricted to restricted fund balance, meaning that this,
I got you,
400
Rand. I understand what you're saying.
yeah, so that's our intention at this point.
All right.
Okay, everybody good? Okay, at this time, we entertain a motion to consider approval of the final contract price through Sourcewell for the new fire engine. A motion? Motion by Councilmember Lifford, second.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Seaforth. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Thank you, Chief. Item number 3, consider approval of ordinance to establish the fiscal year 26 E1 Typhoon Pumper Fire Truck Capital Project. Ms. Donna Goodson.
Thank you, Mayor. In your packet, you do have an ordinance to establish the fiscal year 26 E1 Typhoon Pumper Truck Capital Project Fund, which will be G9150. And that we are doing that, asking you to approve that so we may encumber the monies and sign the contract and have a pre-audit certificate. And it's in the amount of $1,234,000.
All right, any questions, council?
Ms. Goodson, you said that was G9150 or 49?
It's G91-150.
It will be one or the
no,
other. I believe
49.
it'll be 50. I apologize. 49 is fiscal year 25, so we'll change the
right,
ordinance.
thank you.
The ordinance should be correct.
All right, thank you.
It's G9 150.
150.
Okay, at this time, we entertain a motion. If no questions. Motion. Okay, motion by Councilmember Aiken, second.
A second.
Second by Councilmember Lifford, that we approve the consideration of ordinance to establish the fiscal year 26 E1 Typhoon Pumper Fire Truck Capital Project, modification of G9150 instead of G9149. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Okay, moving on. Item number 4, consider approval of application for fireworks discharge permit, City of Kinston, July 4th fireworks. Chief Jackson.
Thank you again. Mayor, before I get started, I just wanted to reiterate that with these 2 firework discharge permits, they are all contingent on whether or not the state lifts their burn ban. So the previous fireworks discharge permit that you guys granted on the last meeting, that permit is null and void. They will not be able to have their show because of the state. And it's outside of my control. So we're still going to go through the process, but if we don't get any rain, then we're going to have a problem. So The first one is the application for the city's 4th of July show, which will be on July 4th. The location will be at Granger Stadium. Fireworks are supposed to start at approximately 9 o'clock and be over by 9:30. Everything is in order. And we're just seeking your guys' approval, and then we can issue a permit.
Any questions from the council?
Pearl, what you shaking your head for? Cause I want to
No,
know.
I'm saying no,
Right.
because I'm not going against state legislation. I'm saying no.
Oh, that's what, oh, cause we have the burn, is what you're saying?
We're having a ban, we have a fire burn.
Oh, so, yeah.
ban Today, and without some wet weather. Not only is fireworks gonna suffer, some other things will too, but at this point, we're totally talking about fireworks.
All right, so I gotta say no with them, is what y'all saying?
Do what?
It's a
So-
legislation it's a burn.
I will say this, you guys can go ahead and approve the discharge permit tonight, because you're not actually approving the permit, you're approving me to write the permit to the licensed person that's doing the fireworks, right? So what I'll do is I'll monitor it, and if the burn ban is not lifted a week before the show, they will get a phone call from me, and their permit will be denied and pulled from them. And then if they go about it after that, then that's a criminal act.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So, or we can table it, and I can bring it to you, on another meeting. That is up to you.
Let's table it, cause let's table it to the next meeting, the 19th. Cause he's shaking his head no real bad, and I wanna make sure we're doing the right thing. What you think, Mayor?
Pleasure to council. On the table.
But, they will get refunded $100 if they, for the permit, if it's not done, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay.
So if we just table it to the 19th, that should be suffice, where we can, we're still, I don't see us disapproving it per se. I know we want you to do your permit, but if we table it,
So I don't see a conflict with tabling, the city show, because that is on July 4th. There's plenty of time in between there. But the second discharge permit that is on your agenda, that is for the bird dogs, their very first night of fireworks is going to be May 15th. And if we do not meet until May 19th, we will not be able to have fireworks, whether the burn ban has been lifted or not.
I think it should have the permit.
I don't know, city attorney, if he can
Determine.
give us some guidance on if we're stepping out.
The burn ban is going to trump whatever decision the council makes. So I don't really see a problem with approving it with the caveat that if the burn ban is still in place, then the fireworks will not go on.
That's what I say.
all right.
And then administratively, you don't have to consider it again, take more time
All right,
to work on it.
understood.
You're not approving it in defiance of state law. You're approving it subject to state law.
So it's contingency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I motion to approve it, if you want to. I mean, Mayor, if you want to do it, I think we can do that without coming back, revisiting.
It's your motion.
I second it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been properly motioned by Councilmember Les Lippert and second by Councilmember Aiken. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right.
No.
One opposed. Ayes have it. The noes know it. Motion carried. Okay, next item. Still on the permits, Chief, consider, approval for the application for the fireworks discharge for the bird dogs.
Yes, Mayor, they have 3 nights scheduled, May 15th, July 31st, and August 21st at approximately 10 p.m. It's the same vendor that has been doing it for years, very familiar with them. Their application was in order, and they have the certificate of insurance and all their safety requirements.
Okay. Any questions from the council? Same situation.
Same situation, just you got our back, so we don't burn nothing until it's approved.
Well, you gotta understand, as a code official, I could be held liable if I issue a permit that's outside of what the scope is. So trust me, if there's a burn ban on, their permit will be revoked.
Got it.
Any more
Just
questions
ask
for
that
the council?
question for people who watching.
Okay. Anybody else? Question for the chief? Mr. Hardy, you got something for chief? Sam? Ms. Solomon? Ms. Seaford? Nothing, okay. All right, at this time, we entertain a motion.
That motion.
Motion by Councilmember Lippert, second.
Second?
Second by Councilmember Aiken. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right.
No.
One opposed. The ayes have it. Motion carried. Okay, moving on. Item number 6, consider approval of safe streets and roads for all grant agreements. Steve Miller.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. In August of 2024, City Council approved a resolution so that we could apply for a Safe Streets and Roads for All grant. The object of the grant is to create a comprehensive safety action plan. The application was submitted that week. We were notified in November of 2024 that we would receive the grant. However, it wasn't until March 31st of this year that we actually received the paperwork. So the federal agencies that deal with this have been a little bit behind. But we have got our paperwork in hand now. The grant amount is $280,000. It will require a $70,000 cash match on behalf of the city. The purpose of the grant and creating the safety action plan, this is administered by the Federal Highway Administration. Having a safety action plan is required in order to pursue any type of construction funding from the Federal Highway Administration or the federal government. So if you don't have a safety action plan, you can't even apply for grant funds. So our objective here is to get that safety action plan created. That'll involve hiring a consultant to help us through that process that has done this before, and creating a stakeholder group of citizens and other folks that are involved in transportation activities in our community, to look at accidents, history around our city, and figure out what types of things are concerns and things that need to be addressed that would be part of that plan moving forward, so then we could go pursue funding to get them accomplished. What I'm recommending tonight is City Council approve authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement and any other associated documents that will be required to accept the grant, and then we will proceed with completing the safety action plan. We will come back with a budget amendment associated with the grant fund and the cash match at a later meeting. So I'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Any questions from the council?
I have one. What streets and roads would be inclusive in this grant agreement?
What we will do is we will gather data on past accidents in particular within the city. This is limited to the city. We're not going out across Lenore County. This is just for us. We're the ones who applied for this. So we will take that data, and that'll kind of direct us to which locations to look at and figure out what types of safety concerns we have in the community. It could include just simple motor vehicle accidents. It could include pedestrian issues. So any type of transportation-related safety item could be considered as part of the plan.
I still would like to see if the city could have some type of ordinance or safety-wise. You still see a lot of people at nighttime wearing dark clothes or riding bicycles. And a lot of times you approach them right away, and a lot of times the car beside you, you can't brake left or right, so you kind of hitting on brakes. Just a $5, $10 reflector at night. I don't know, see, can we include that in the plans or some type of for better visibility? It's for the bicyclists' safety and the motorists too. But I think that we should definitely look into see can we make it a requirement.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the city could pass something more restrictive than state requirements, but Chief Goyette could tell you that any type of rolling equipment in the dark has got to have something on it.
In order to operate a bicycle at night, you have to have a headlight on it and a brake light. That is correct.
You mean a light with a light on it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It can be difficult to enforce, bicycle lights, but we have cited people before for that.
Any more questions from the council? Okay. At this time, we entertain a motion to consider approval of the Safe Streets Roads for All grant agreement.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Hardy, second. Second by Councilmember Aiken. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Item number 7, consider approval of resolution for water system capital improvement plan. Henry McLean.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Me and Charmaine was here probably 2 weeks ago, and we told you all we would be coming back, and we got 2 motions that we want you all to consider. One is the adoption of a capital improvement plan, which is for this grant application that we're getting ready to submit. The other one is a resolution to apply for that grant application. And Charmaine has provided a PowerPoint presentation she wants to go through. Once she goes through it, then we'll answer all the questions that you want answered and stuff. But I wanted to make sure she did her presentation so it could be better inform you all than me just sitting up here speaking. So right now, I'm gonna let Charmaine take it over, and she's gonna go through her presentation.
Evening, Mayor and council members. Yeah, I'm a visual person, so I just wanted to bring 2 related items to your attention. Both are connected to the funding opportunity with a hard deadline of April 30th. Just 9 days away. I like to just recap some of that information from April 7th. So if you can recall, the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality manages a spring funding cycle for water and sewer infrastructure, and it pretty much helps keep our water safe. The program is the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. That's the one we're after. And this cycle has $50 million in loan funding and $18 million in principal forgiveness. So essentially, that's money that we don't have to pay back as grant money. The estimated cost for this project is about $2.8 million. And if awarded, the city would pay a 2% closing fee at about $55,000 and then carry loan payments over 20 years at about $143,000 annually. So for this fund, we are submitting the Grove Park Waterline Replacement Project. As you can see, this is the area along MLK between East Washington and King Street. It is in the area where aging waterline infrastructure has experienced repeated failure and is currently one of our highest priorities. Many of those lines are well over 40 years old, mainly between 60 and 80 years old, so like 1910, 1920. So before we can, of course, submit this application, requirements obligate us to have an adopted water capital improvement plan that has been, updated within the last 2 years. We reviewed all the previously funded projects, removed those that are complete, and incorporated new projects to identify our most recent, based on our water asset study, to identify the projects that are now ranked in priority order. The Grove Park waterline there is highlighted in yellow. That's our first priority, because that reflects, the need and our intent to pursue this funding. So we ask of you today to approve the revised water capital improvement plan so that it may be submitted as part of our application package, and also pass a resolution authorizing us to apply for funding for the Grove Park waterline project so that we can meet that April 30th deadline and keep the project moving forward. Thank you. And any questions?
So we just approved it.
Thanks, Charmaine. Any other questions from council? Got one less?
Yeah, I mean, this is to approve you to get a grant.
No, it's funding. It's to apply for it. Now, it's a low-interest loan with forgiveness. And the forgiveness, the maximum forgiveness right now that the state is allowing is $500,000. So if we're awarded this, which is 2.8 million, then we'll get forgiveness in $500,000. The rest will be low-interest loans over 20 years.
Got it. So you can get up to 50 million and you can get up to
No,
19.
50 million is what's available.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can get up to, when I'm reading, you can get 50 million, 19 million could be for forgiveness, but we only doing 2.8 million and $500,000 is forgive.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And you got a question? Okay. I saw your motion and stuff. But as far as this resolution and stuff, it's required for the grant application. Both of them are actually required. You have to approve that capital improvements plan. And you see up there at the front, at the top, number one with a bullet, it's the Grove Park Water Park line, the Grove Park Water Line Project. So we've been having problems out of that area probably the past 10 years or more. And we got a list of breaks, water line breaks, where our crews had to go out and fix it. So it's very important that we have you all consider, you know, allowing us to submit the application.
I'm definitely in favor of the application. I used to serve on the Neuse Regional Water and Sewage Authority. I think you own it now,
Yeah.
Seaford and Mr. Miller. It was a big talk about PFAS. I remember the acronym. Maybe Steve can help me out. Something.
I just say forever chemical.
Right, forever chemical. You know,
That's what I
and
call
that's from your frying pan, non-stick, to your clothes and everything like that.
Yeah, some of the stuff that firefighters wore or
Things,
used or
right.
things like that.
Because I know one time they was talking about they're doing national studies, but each city will probably have to have a big expense.
Yeah,
on
the
it.
state has required us to do some testing on that. We tested already for 4 quarters in a year, and they just asked us to hold on to our information. Now with WASA, they're more involved with it.
That's an expense we might incur in the near future.
Yes, absolutely. Not only that, since you brought that up, I just wanted to mention on that capital improvements plan, if you look at number 2 and 3, lead, and you see something up there, it's saying $20 million. Now, where this comes from, I know you all remember the Flint stuff, when all that lead went into, you know, it was leached into the people's houses. Well, on that capital improvements plan, but we hope the legislation is pending. But if that legislation passes, then we have to do a lot. You know, you're looking about $2 million a year on replacing those lines and stuff. And fortunately, we haven't found lead in our pipes. What we found is galvanized requiring replacement. So it's not only lead, you got to replace galvanized lines that are pretty much downstream from lead lines. So it's a bunch of stuff that we've been looking at, trying to stay on top with the regulations that's pending or coming, or that's there already. But I didn't want to divulge from the project we asking for, but I know y'all probably see that up there, and I figured somebody would have had a question. Yeah, yeah, so I wanted to address that. That's one of the biggest things on that capital improvement plan. So we hope it doesn't get to the point where we have to pay for all that. That's a lot. It sure is. But getting back to the Grove Park water, we asked you all with that first resolution to approve the capital improvements plans. So we can include that in this application. And on the second one, we asked you all to approve the resolution for the application for us to apply. Okay? With that capital improvements plan resolution, we would need the minutes that pertain specifically to that tonight to put in our grant application, which is due April the 30th. Now, that could not wait till May the 9th, but we just need some certified minutes that say, okay, this went to council and stuff and all that. But other than that, if anybody got any questions, any more questions, we'll be happy to answer them.
Okay, council? Ms. Seaforth?
Yes, I have one. I realize that keeping our drinking water safe is very, very important to us. One question is about the loans over a period of time. And what period of time?
20 years.
20 years.
20 years, and as Charmaine mentioned, it'll be about 143,000 a quarter. Okay, annually. Yeah, you make payments on a quarterly basis,
Okay.
but that total be 143,000 annually.
So will that be factored in the amount of money that you will be getting for this project? When you're looking at over a period of time,
Will it?
you're asking for 2.8 million with a 2% closing fee, and then you have a loan over a period of 20 years. So with this money, I'm trying to figure out, trying to think through the money that has to be allocated annually. Would this be inclusive in what you're asking for?
Once,
application.
if we're approved for this, they'll send us a schedule. They'll send us a schedule on every, you have a payment schedule, and it'll have everything on there, when you need to pay it and how much you need to pay. And if, just like on a house mortgage, you know, if you bought a house and you got that slip, you saw 30 or 40 years worth, okay, you got to pay this, you know. So that's what we will receive.
The loan will be budgeted in the years of the operating budget when they're due. So
Okay,
you'll have
that's what I
two different budgets. You'll have the project budget, and then you'll have annual operating budgets for payment of the loan when they start.
Okay, that's important because I know.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, because to keep our water safe is
All right,
expensive.
I just want to make
I'm
sure your
on
question got
board.
answered.
Yeah, so thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome. All right.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, just a reminder, when y'all speaking, speak it to the microphone.
Yeah.
So everybody make sure it's going through the feeder, so everybody can hear you, that's watching it on Facebook or whatever.
Okay, you got something, Ralph?
Yeah, I was gonna say, at the last meeting, we talked about these galvanized lines, and we talked about the life of them. Not only keeping the water safe, but keeping the cost down, but maintaining these lines is critical to get these these galvanized lines out of the service. And I pointed out that these lines, most of them were put in back after World War II, and they have about a 50-year life at max. So we've well exceeded the life of them. And I would bet you if we went out and dug up a section, we'd find a half a dozen clamps already there. So the lines have deteriorated. All we're doing is just patching them. We put the Band-Aid on them, and it's costing a lot of money. So getting this project going is going to be critical, not only for the day, but for long term. So I'm ready. I'm through.
Water is definitely our lifeline. Okay, at this time, nobody has any more questions. We'll entertain the motion.
Motion.
Okay, it's been motioned by Councilmember Hardy, and second by Councilmember Seaforth, that we consider approval of resolution for water system capital improvement plan revision. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. We're gonna go ahead to item 8, which is an attachment to this, to consider the adoption of resolution for drinking water state funding application for the Grove Park Line project. Can I entertain a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Hardy, second.
Second.
Second by Pro Tem Solomon. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on to item number 9, and consider approval of a special event permit for the Juneteenth celebration parade on Saturday, June the 20th, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Chief Goyette.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. I have quite a few to go over, so I brought me some water. I might be up here for a little while. Very first one is for the Juneteenth parade. This is the first annual parade. It'll be on Saturday, the 20th, the day after Juneteenth. It's going to take the same parade route as the Christmas parade. Capitola from the ballpark down Queen Street and back. It's going to be from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. There will be road closures. There will be police officers working at the parade, to include myself. This is not a fundraising project. It's open to the public and encouraged for people to come have a good time. There will be no candy thrown at this event. The city of Kinston is listed as the insurance certificate holder. I'm not sure if I have put it in the packet. I just got it today. It is for $5 million, and we have no objection to this, and we look forward to attending it. Be happy to answer any questions that you all may have.
I just have one question. When you have the parade, you had to coordinate it with the train?
Yes, sir. We have to contact Norfolk Southern, which we've already taken care of. They're not going to stop the train, but they will let us know if the train is coming, and then we'll coordinate and stop the parade.
Okay.
Mr. Attorney?
Good deal. Any more questions from the council?
Mr. Attorney, you got anything?
Sure, Chief will get the insurance certificate. Who is the applicant? I was looking for who is the applicant. Okay. Is that who signed the
He's present
indemnification?
now.
Yeah, he's here.
Okay. Yeah, nothing further. It's good.
Okay. At this time, we entertain a motion to consider approval of a special event permit for the Juneteenth celebration parade.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Hardy, second.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Lippert. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Okay, Chief, you still up. Item number 10, consider approval of special event permit, Praise in the Park Christian concert on Saturday, June the 13th, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
All right, this will be a Christian concert at June 13th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Pearson Park. The rental agreement has already been signed. There will not be a street closure for this, so it'll be just inclusive to the park. EMS will be called as needed or if needed. There's going to be no alcohol at this Christian event. The restrooms and trash receptacles at the park will be utilized. The hold harmless agreement has been signed, and the city of Kinston is listed as the insurance certificate holder. Be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, Chief, any questions from the council? Questions? Okay, at this time, we'll consider the motion to consider the approval of the special event permit for Praise in the Park Christian concert on Saturday, June the 13th. At the time, I entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Hardy, second.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Lippert. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. All right, Chief Goyette. Item number 11, consider approval of special event permit for the barbecue festival on Friday and Saturday, May the 1st and May the 2nd. Chief Goyette.
All right, this is the largest barbecue festival in the state. This will take place on Friday and Saturday, May 1st and May 2nd. There will be a carnival amusement rides the previous night on Thursday. That'll be secluded to the park area, will not be any hazards whatsoever. They will have off-duty law enforcement officers working the carnival for that event. We're going to have over 20 police officers at this event, to include sheriff deputies and members of the KPD. EMS will be there, and I'm sure the Kinston Department of Fire Rescue will have a truck there as well. This is going to take down, this take up most of the downtown, as y'all are aware. It's Queen to Mitchell, King to Blount. There's gonna be alcohol, food, and non-alcoholic beverages sold there. There's an ABC permit in the packet, so that's good to go. Toilets, washing stations will be set up at the event, just like it has been in the years past. The hold harmless agreement has been signed. I do not have the insurance certificate yet. It's gonna be sent to me the week prior to the event. So I would ask that we would seek approval under the condition that I receive this prior to the event starting.
Okay, any questions from the council?
I know they have the helicopter rides.
They're not gonna have helicopter rides this year.
They're not? Okay.
That's been discontinued.
Okay.
Anybody else? C4? Les? Ms. Solomon? Pearl? Okay. At this time, we entertain the motion to consider the approval of the special permit for the barbecue festival on Friday and Saturday, May the 1st and 2nd. Motion?
Pending that.
That's
we
right,
get-
pending the permit, pending the Chief Goyette gets the permit prior to this event
Insurance.
for the insurance, okay? Good. Thank you, Pearl. Can we get a motion by Sammy Aiken, second
That's second.
by Les Lippert? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Okay, Chief, you are our favorite today. Consider approval of special event permit for Lincoln City Family Reunion on Saturday and Sunday, May 23rd and 24th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
All right, this takes place annually. It will be at Holloway Park. The rental agreement has already been signed with Parks and Recreation. There is gonna be a small closure to the streets, like it is every year. Not really an issue. We'll have 4 police officers working this event, both days. There's gonna be restrooms at the park, trash cans, food and drink will be sold or given away there. The hold harmless agreement has been signed, and the city of Kinston is listed as the insurance certificate holder. Never had any issues at this event. I've worked it several times, and it's always a good time. So just ask that we go ahead and get this approved.
Okay, any questions from the council? This time we entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Lippert, second. Second by Councilmember Aiken. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Lincoln City. Okay, thanks, Chief. Next up, item number 13, consider approval of updated gym rental policy and travel basketball rental fees. Scott?
Hey, good night, council. What we're here today is the Rec Commission recently met. We've been inundated with requests for AU travel practices lately, more so than usual. So we took that to the Recreation Commission and brought them for discussion. And our regular fee for gymnasiums is $250 for a block of 4 hours. After a discussion with commission, the commission recommended a $100 fee for 2-hour block, which stays is a little cheaper than that. And we recommended a program schedule. So there's a program schedule all throughout the week. They have places to rent from 7 to 9. And so it gives it for the community. So tonight, the commission is recommending a $100 fee added with the caveat that our program schedule, it's open and they can rent it from 7 to 9 at these facilities. I think it's well past the prime that we established this. And right now, we only have 4-hour blocks. A 2-hour block is more in line. Other towns like Goldsboro and Greenville have, I want to say, 2-hour blocks of $250. So this is a lot reasonable, very reasonable for that. So, entertain any questions for?
Good deal. Okay, thank you, Scott. Any questions from the council?
Does the 100 include the staff pay out of that?
Yes. So our gyms are already open till about 9 o'clock every night. So during the week, we don't have to call any staff in. Now, on the weekend, the $250 fee still applies because we have to call staff in on the weekends to call that in. So that's why the fee is lower, since our staff's already in the gym. But that includes the lights and the whole gym. So we have a lot of people call and say, well, I just want a half. They can come in and practice with their kids on a half court. But if you want that total gym to take it out of open gym and take it off the block for kids off the street, then you need to pay $100. And that's why we recommended that.
All right. Any more questions? No questions? Okay, at this time, we entertain a motion. Motion by Councilmember Aiken, second. Second by Mayor Pro Tem Solomon, to consider the approval of the updated gym rental policy and travel basketball rental fees. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Okay, Scott, we're gonna continue with item number 14, consider approval of updated fee schedule for facilities, areas without assigned fees.
Thank you, council. We recently came across that we had some requests for some rooms that don't have fees attached, and really, we hadn't been able to rent them out, or specifically like Emma Webb has just been renovated, and have to have a fee, so people either aren't able to rent it, or they get it for free, especially like this Emma Webb shelter. So we're requesting, after evaluating with the commission, these Lovett Hines for $50 for 1 to 2 hours, Fairfield Aerobics Room for $50 for 1 to 2 hours, Holloway Game Room for 1 to 2 hours, and really specifically for meetings, because a lot of people have come to us, want small room for meetings, but then they have to rent a big room. So these will only not be for family reunions, just be for short meetings, and it's all throughout town, so they have their area. If they want to do a community meeting, they want to hold just a board meeting with a small group, they can do that. And it also assigns our M-Web picnic shelter in line with our other picnic shelters. So we bring that before you because we would like to clear that up so that when they call us, it's on our books and there's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Good deal. Any questions from the council? Mr. Hardy, you got anything down there?
No, sir.
Sam?
No.
Ms. Solomon? Les?
No, sir.
Ms. Seaforth? Okay, at this time, we entertain a motion to consider approval of updated fee schedule for facilities, areas without assigned fees. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Leffert, second.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Seaforth. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Thank you, Scott. Okay, information and updates. Item number 1, KPD 2026 first quarter crime stats. Chief Goyette.
Good evening again. It's that time of the year, as you're all aware. I try to come up every quarter and go over our crime stats. You can also find this on our website. We keep these up to date. This is it's a snapshot of crime in Kinston through our first quarter. This is based off of our NIBRS reporting. At a high level, about 82% of our crime is going to be smaller incidents, reported incidents of property crime, whereas 18% of our crime is going to be violent crime. 13%, we did see a 13% reduction in violent crime, but overall crime has increased 8%. A lot of that's going to be pushed from, like I said, small misdemeanor crime, larceny, breaking into cars, and that sort of thing. Murders stayed the same. Rapes, there was a 40% decrease. Robberies, 47% decrease, and then aggravated assault was the same. As far as our violent crime goes, we're pretty much on pace with the rest of America. Right now, it's about 13% reduction, whereas the state is at 11%. We're at 13%, so we're doing better than the state as far as that goes. The driver to the increase are going to be your motor vehicle thefts. That went up a couple. Breaking and entering went up from 46 to 68. Larcenies increased 138 from 120. The increases collectively pushed the total offenses in the first quarter to 840. The takeaway from that is property crime is the primary pressure point. That's something that we're focusing on this particular quarter right here. Our calls for service remain the same for the most part from this quarter, from last quarter, as well as this quarter this year from last year. Something I do want to point out is that we continue to maintain 100% NIBRS compliance, which is very, very important when it comes to applying for grants and being transparent with our citizens, as well as accurate year-to-year comparisons. Overall, just to summarize, 82% of our crime is going to be non-violent, whereas 18% is violent. But we did see a 13% reduction. Very pleased with that, and I look forward to build on that. And I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody may have.
Chief, can you repeat that when you said what percentage of our crimes are violent versus not?
Sure, 18% of our crime, 18% of all of our crime in Kinston is going to be in the violent crime range, which is murder, aggravated assaults, rape, robbery, and 82% is going to be your non-felonious crimes, your non-violent crime.
We had a citizen here earlier today, and they were talking about domestic violence. For the people out there that don't know, we have a organization called SAFE. I think Ms. Seafor's organization of sorority have worked with SAFE before in the past, but it's availability for domestic violence. So if anybody going through anything, they can get with SAFE. Chief, but how many of your cases are domestic violence? What do you?
I don't have a detailed set as far as that goes, but I will tell you that the domestic violence has increased over the past 2 years, slightly, but it has increased. We take domestic violence extremely important. We've even hired a counselor, not a counselor, but an advocate to help us out with our victims, and she works with, whenever we have a victim from a case, she will coordinate different resources in the community, and a big part of that is the SAFE resource.
And a lot of people say, like, well, a lot of the things that you all encounter should be counted by maybe a mental health professional. We don't have anybody like that on the staff, do we?
We are all, 86% of the police department's trained in CIT, but do we have a full-time mental health assistant? No, we do not have that. There's other departments, Chapel Hill, I think they have a 8-person team. That's a great resource to have. It's also an extremely expensive resource, and I'd be more than happy to entertain that if that's something the city wanted to do.
Okay.
But I do know that there have been times, I think, where you guys have partnered with Trillium.
Correct, yeah,
24-hour
yes.
mental.
There have been incidents where we've reached out to Trillium, and they've come down, from Goldsboro or from Kinston to assist us with particular calls. I can think of 4 off the top of my head right now. So there is a great relationship there. That's who trains us in our CIT. We actually have one coming up in June. I think we have 14 officers going to that particular class. So.
Can you tell the audience what?
If you wouldn't have asked me that, I could have said it. I always say critical incident, but it's not. Turner, help me out. Crisis intervention team, yes. Yeah, we get this little fancy pin we put on our shirt, so, yeah, crisis intervention team. There's actually an advanced crisis intervention team training class. It's another 16-hour block, so our training supervisor is actually working on scheduling that as well, so.
Hey, Chief, I have one thing for you.
Yes, sir.
Complaints, written complaints. Have you had many this year?
Oh, yeah, well, one thing that we advocate here at the police department is you can write a complaint, you can text it, you can DM it, you can call, you can do it however you want to do. We take every complaint seriously. We investigate it through our internal affairs, and we have seen an increase in complaints, that's what we're asking for. If you see something, complain, yeah, absolutely, and we take those serious, and we'll do a report annually on those complaints, and that'll be in our annual report. We do that every single year as far as complaints, use of force, our response to resistance, and so forth. Every year, that's in our annual report.
I think one of the hardest ones to share the concerns about are citizens, and even personally, I've seen where we've had cars go through like speeding. Right. And you're wondering like, where you going? With no lights on. And, for the ones that I've seen, unfortunately, I haven't been able to get the number of the vehicle, the lights, because they're moving just that fast. Just to be able to share, just so, you guys can address it. But, like I said, there have been concerns, and I've actually seen, and they're moving so fast, it's like, let me try to get my phone out to try to, just so it can be addressed, about this concern about cars just moving so fast. Yeah, speeding. And it does not appear to be an emergency because there are no lights on, or no siren.
Well, there's different, sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we're going a little too fast, and I appreciate that. Anytime you see something like that, let us know so we can investigate it. With our new in-car cameras, we can tell how fast somebody's going.
Yeah.
We can address it that way.
And one citizen contacted me and said, we'd like to have some type of like town hall with the police, or I know we have the coffee with the police.
They
We-
got
We have
paid.
Pace, and, we used to have baseball cards, right, with the.
We used to, yeah, that was probably about 2006, 2007. Somehow I didn't get a card, but
dated
yeah.
myself, I think.
Yeah, well, that's gonna lead us into our next, item whenever we clear this up, because we're gonna talk about town halls, so.
Yeah, Chief, there is a concern about the cars kind of speeding through Kinston, so, you know, maybe I'll check down on that. But I want to know what our concerns are going forward with the mental health crisis intervention along with law enforcement, because we do have a high concentration of mental health in our communities, and some of these calls, they're not necessarily law enforcement inclined, some of them may be more medically inclined, and we have a big veteran community here. Most of us on the council have served in the military and stuff like that, so I know it may be expensive along with some of the other stuff that we need out here, but I think that's a concern we need to look at going
And
forward.
I would be more than welcome to entertain
Yeah,
that.
so
I think that's very
want to take a
important.
deep dive into that. I'm pretty sure you can find some resources
Yes, sir.
for us on that. You guys got any more questions on that? Okay. All right, Chief, we'll go to item number 2, Connect Series announcement.
All right, this is gonna kind of go into what Councilman was just talking about. And what we're doing is starting next month, on May 12th, which is a Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the Kinston Neuse Regional Library on Queen Street. We chose that place because it's pretty strategic, and it's also a good location for those who live in Kinston Towers to walk to it. But we're gonna have 4 town hall meetings starting that particular date. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna discuss something different at each meeting. The first one, we're gonna talk about understanding crime in Kinston, as well as designing a safe neighborhood. What I mean by that is we're gonna go over the crime prevention through environmental design, with the goals of reducing crime in our community, and just kind of introduce that. We're also gonna provide an additional 30 minutes for questions, and we can answer. And that's the way we can have dialogue with our citizens. Any question they have, if we can answer it, we're gonna answer it. We're also gonna have another one, 2 months after that, discussing youth violence prevention, and then we're gonna have one with financial crimes awareness, specifically with our senior population. I don't know about you, but I get about 17 spam phone calls every particular day, so we're gonna address those and kind of bring some awareness to our elders. Try and help that out. And our final one in December is gonna be about building stronger partnerships and improving response to resistance, and kind of go over the use of forces and how that looks and how that works in our community. And really, this is a great opportunity for our citizens to have the opportunity to discuss and back and forth. Now, Kinston 101 is an amazing program, but there's just not enough time to really answer every question that our community may have. So that's what this is all about. This is an opportunity so we can just have some dialogue and talk. And we may disagree about some things, but this is an opportunity for us to kind of work it out and maybe learn from each other. So that's, first one's gonna be Tuesday, May 12th. Everybody's invited. It's at 6 p.m. at the Kinston Library.
Chief, let me say this. I
Yes.
am extremely glad to hear that you are focusing on our aging population, our seniors. You know, as my parents, you know what I'm saying, are getting older. Yeah. Like a measure of vulnerability, you know, for one, like you said, those spam calls, and then even for those, you know, like this conversation about individuals who, you know, are moving through your communities, you know, like that conversation is really needed and relevant. I think, will these be recorded?
Yes, this will be recorded. We're gonna have them record. It'll be the recorded series, and we'll put them a link on our social media site.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
So-
but I think anything pertaining to seniors and helping to, I guess, to do what, sir? Yeah, eliminate fraud or just like their awareness, you know, like this conversation with my mother, explaining to her as much as she loves her bags, like she's in the stage of the game, I need for her to be wearing crossbodies. You
Well,
know,
absolutely. And what we're doing right now is we're identifying those people in our department who are experts in this. Like, I can't really speak on environmental design, but I know I got somebody who can. So we're working on that, and then there's going to be other people from also of our stakeholders. For example, we're working on a domestic violence one next February, so we're going to reach out to those partners that can really speak to it better than I can. So I'm not going to be the main speaker. I might do a little opening, a little ending, but we're going to have people who have better understanding and resources, and we look
Yeah,
forward to it. So.
and then there's a message for our younger population who are very disrespectful on the roads of how, you know, they blow the horns on cars who may be moving slowly and not even understanding that there may be an older driver who's trying to use caution. And so that's a message even for, you know what I'm saying, this younger population and citizens of just how disrespectful and inconsiderate that you are, you know what I'm saying, because the driver that's ahead of you, that's somebody's mother, that's somebody's grandmother, you know what I'm saying, who's trying. So I thank you for putting a highlight on one of our most vulnerable members of this community. So I thank you, yeah.
We'll put this information out later on in the week as far as on our social media, as well as we already have it on our website. So we're going to have all this information now, and we'll advertise and look forward to everybody attending. So, any additional questions?
All right. Chief, so the time you said was what time? May 12th and what time?
6 p.m. They're all going to be Tuesday night at 6 p.m. at the same location, just to make it easier for everybody, and you know where to go and when it's going to be. And we're going to provide those dates, like I said, in the next couple of weeks for the rest of the series.
And then another thing is, I'm getting a lot of complaints on, is it Kinston Towers? I'm getting a lot of complaints. I don't know if we got to do a New Jack City on it, so. I'm getting a lot of complaints about drugs and a lot of things going on in Kinston Towers. So,
6 churches as well.
yeah, so we're gonna have to do like New Jack City and clear it out.
I didn't expect to hear New Jack City tonight. That's good.
They think they got Wesley Snipes in there.
Chief,
don't they?
Chief, yeah, what's the process for patrolling the housing areas? You know what I'm saying? I mean, some of those areas like the towers, they used to have security.
So
there.
there's actually off-duty security that works probably 2 nights a week at the Kinston Towers, at 6 churches, at Roland Paler. As far as our housing communities, we currently do not have like a housing police unit. However, stay tuned, we're working on a grant for that, and in the next couple of months, we'll address that. I just needed to open up, so. But we, 7 people on a shift, the city of 20,000, we're trying to, spread out our resources as best as we can, and we do patrol the housing authority though.
Now, am I correct that the housing authority used to have a funding source that used to help fund law enforcement?
That is my understanding. I know whenever I got hired here in January of 2001, I was actually hired through a grant that the housing authority was a part of, and then I think after 3 years, that position went away, but the city kept my spot. It's kind of, we'll go over that in a couple months, but that's pretty much the direction that I'm going. If you're asking me, does the Kinston Housing Authority fund us?
used to.
No, they don't, no.
They lost their funding because Jack Roundtree used to have a 20.
They got money though, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, a lot of
I
money.
can't speak on their budget, but, that has been approached, and we have had those discussions in the past, and, their bosses have reached out, and, just, it's a funding issue.
Hey, just food for thought, Les, for bringing that up. What happens a lot of time at these apartment houses for the elderly, you got people in there, you got to have a code to get in, first of all. And what happens is when late at night, they let their friends in when they know nobody's there patrolling. So that's what caused a lot of the drugs and things to get in there, because you got these individuals that live there that's letting people in that they shouldn't be letting in, and it goes into those activities. So, I mean, it's been addressed, the Housing Authority has addressed it several times, but just like, I can't think of the lady's name right now.
Miss Sorensen.
Yeah, Miss Perry.
Very
But she from time to time put spies in the buildings and make sure that, taking pictures and seeing the people that's doing it.
Spies or staff? Spies or staff? I mean,
people she knows that works there, people that live there in the building, that she trusts, that she can go to and say, hey, I need you to look out and tell me who's doing this and who's doing that.
I think it, and our hope is, maybe that we can have a joint conversation because it's worth investing in a security firm. If you can't do anything, but get security for those other, 5 days, like if it's a 7-day week, if you can get security for 5 days, it's worth it. So hopefully we can have a,
I don't know, seems like we need to get the housing board in here. That's our appointment and talk to them. We getting it to the chief, but it seems like they got a management issue. All right, chief.
Thank you.
Number 3, public engagement for upcoming grant-funded projects. Elizabeth Blount.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to bring a couple of things before council and also before the public. The planning staff has 3 upcoming projects that we'll be working on. The North Carolina Department of Transportation multimodal project to update our bicycle and pedestrian plan, the update to our historic design guidelines, and then the creation of our downtown master plan. And so with these projects, we're gonna be incorporating a lot of public engagement. So we just want to know if some of our citizens are around town and hear somebody that wants to hear their input, please, we want you to be actively engaged and provide your input when it comes down to our city's future. When we do this meaningful participation also builds transparency, trust, and long-term support for implementation. So we encourage inclusive participation, and this may be in the way of public workshops, it may be online surveys, pop-up events, stakeholder meetings. If you want to be a part of these meetings, please, please, please don't hesitate in contacting the Planning and Development Services Department, and we will love your input in developing our city's future plans. That's it.
Any questions from the council? Nobody? Okay, thank you, Ms. Blunt. All right, item number 4, 2026 Spring Clean Event. Steve Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. Just real quick, on Saturday, April 25th, we will be doing our annual Spring Clean event. This is where we will station our garbage trucks in the parking lot at Granger Stadium. People can bring out anything they need to get rid of. We'll be glad to take it. We'll get it sorted out. We'll put it in the right trucks and take it away, no charge. So we've offered this for many years now. We used to do it down at the old shirt factory site. We moved to the stadium when that shirt factory site went under contract. So we will be at the stadium. We'll start at 8 a.m. till 12 p.m. So again, anybody wants to bring anything they have, if it's yard debris, furniture, regular garbage, appliances, whatever. Clean out your shed, clean out your attic, whatever you want taken away, bring it down and we'll take care of it for you. So we really do this. There's no need for people to be dumping down the streets. We pick up most anything that you got if you live here in the city. So just one more opportunity for you to get rid of your trash and be able to have your community, your house look nice by having your trash taken away.
Steve, what's that date again?
April 25th, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So
This Saturday.
This Saturday at the stadium.
Yep. Steve, this does not include paint and stuff like that, does it? Or do you do paint?
Hazardous materials, if you have that, let us know you're bringing that. There's some things you have to do with that for us to handle that. So if you have anything special, just give us a call, 939-3282, and our staff will be able to talk with you and tell you if you can bring it, and if you do, if there's anything special you got to do, what you got to do for it.
I'm just looking at the visual of taking it to the baseball stadium when we used to use the shirt factory. Like shirt factory is kind of more designed for it. When you think about the baseball stadium and baseball, bringing all that material there, the parking lot and all, maybe, I don't know how much damage to parking lot with our big heavy trucks and all of that. Same thing, shirt factory would have been the ideal spot to keep it maintained there.
Unfortunately, it's not available right now, but we use the gravel lots there along Vernon Avenue in front of the stadium, so we stay out of the main parking lots for stationing the trucks and things. So.
Okay.
I got one more question, Mr. Mayor. So, throughout the city of Kinston, prior to Kinston, downtown Kinston, we used to, get the teenagers and all and, start early in the morning and lunchtime, we provide them barbecue sandwich, hot dogs and all that. After it was over, we got a big participation. Is there a gathering point like that? There's no gathering point like that to, Pearson Park where we used to meet and give everybody bags and we go downtown and pick up trash?
I mean, in public services, we do a fall cleanup. We usually station that at the nature center, but we do a group cleanup anywhere around town they would like to. We don't usually do it for this event. We set up this to handle larger debris if people want to bring it. I don't know, Leon, not here, I don't know if they're doing anything downtown. I haven't heard of anything that they're doing next week. Although they usually spend some time trying to make sure downtown looks good too.
Well, we used to do it prior to the barbecue festival, so the city would be presentable to everybody coming into town.
Mr. Aiken, you can go ahead and get some friends together and do that for us. We appreciate it. And you could feed them too.
I went to the Sam's Club and bought some trash bags today, so council members, I'll pass you all a couple out. Lead by example.
Thank you, Sam. Steve, you got anything else? All right. Next up, number 5, upcoming crosswalk painting update, Leon Steele.
Mr. Salmon, we hope to see you Saturday at Pearson Park at 9 o'clock with the Kinston Teens Group. Is calling everybody together who's interested in cleaning up downtown before the barbecue festival. We're going to meet in Pearson Park at 9 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, good. That'd be awesome. Hope to see all of you there. And some of you guys as well. Give me just a second.
We all meet out there. Mm-hmm. Clean up that Delta's queue. The Delta's in the queue. Okay. Mm-hmm. Clean up.
Oh, okay. Take 5 minutes.
No, we have. No, man, okay, we do that.
This is Jamil Burton. He is going to be doing the painting that we're going to be talking about. And sitting right here is Stephanie Brea. If any of you haven't met her, she's the the director for the Smart Kinston Group. And we're real happy to have her. She's a real go-getter. And she's been helping me and Jamil. We've been working on this project for a while, as you may know. And this doesn't seem to be here right now. Well, we need the visual. They've got the visuals, but I've got it right up here on my phone drive. I put it on there earlier.
I can fill some space while you get ready. Hi, everyone. So as Leon mentioned, my name is Stephanie Brea. I'm the new executive director of the Smart Kinston Foundation, and they're both going to share a little bit more about the specifics of the project, but I wanted to briefly discuss the importance of collaborative downtown projects such as this, sort of like the why. And I can kind of fill up a little space while we get the presentation going. So since 2014, Smart Kinston has focused on creative placemaking. It's a core part of our mission and the part that I personally think is maybe the most important and what I've been really focused on in the last few months since I've taken this role. And so what does creative placemaking mean? So creative placemaking is generally understood as the use of arts and culture by diverse partners to strategically shape the physical and social character of a place in order to spur economic development, promote enduring social change, and improve the physical environment. We're gonna get to that in a second. So examples are things like transforming vacant lots into gardens and developing like cultural districts and performance venues and using public art to tell local stories, right? So thanks to a grassroots grant from the North Carolina Arts Council, which is a division of the State Department of Natural and Cultural Resources, 2 of our Smart Kinston resident artists were able to collaborate with DKR on the next phase of their North and Mitchell Gateway project. But this project is not only a collaboration between our 2 organizations. Earlier this year, we held an input meeting at the library with some other community stakeholders, and we'll host some sort of ribbon cutting, unveiling, that offers other opportunities for collaboration, although it's, I guess, a ribbon cutting on a crosswalk, you have two sides, maybe it has to be a circle, who knows. So I'm a recent-ish resident of Kinston, but I did briefly live in Mitchelltown, and it didn't take long to experience the joy that the Dragon Playground brings to people in our community. And the key aspect of this project is that it uses the arts to improve the physical environment around that playground. So we're making the crosswalk more noticeable and thereby safer. It's a prime example of creative, collaborative placemaking at work.
So, you guys remember this intersection and this project from a couple of years ago, right? And what it used to look like, which was that. And now it looks like this, and it also won a State Main Street Award. What we proposed at the time, if you'll recall, was to have a sensory path on the sidewalk leading to Mitchell Street, and then a crosswalk that was sort of artistic and fun that would tie the whimsical painting and the Dragon Park to downtown, because this is all about kids' safety, crossing the street and that sort of thing. So I'm going to let Jamal explain to you what he has come up with, which is a really brilliant idea, and then I'll jump back in.
Right. That's all right. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Jamil Burton. I'm an artist. Been a resident of Kinston now for 8 years. Resident artist. And I actually live right around the corner from this park. And this idea will actually give people, make people stop and slow down, because occasionally, as I'm passing through, I see cars flying through there all the time, regardless whether the stop sign there or not. So the idea between me and also another artist, Maximilian Mozingo, we're both partnering on doing this mural. And the idea is to have the dragon paws. They're going to be bright, fluorescent green. And they're going to be, for the most part, roughly about this big, how many feet that is, going across. But it's going to start from the sidewalk, going through the crosswalk onto the other sidewalk. So it's kind of a continuation. The dragon paws is the idea of playing off the dragon in the park. So it ties everything together from an artistic standpoint and just period. So on the sidewalk, there's going to be flames, the dragon paws, the tail of the dragon. And when kids see that, automatically it's going to snatch their attention. They're going to slow down and walk across. And then they give also drivers a chance to slow down. You see these bright fluorescent colors, you're automatically going to slow down. So, because it's a walking area. It's a lot of people walking and playing at that park, kids and adults, and it's just something to make people stop, look, and see.
So not only is it going to be bright green, but it's going to glow green at night. We're getting some special green paint for that. This project will start right after the barbecue festival and be wrapped up probably by the end of the month, hopefully. And we appreciate Jeffrey Williford at the Arts Council working with us to help get the funding to cover the costs for this. The paint's not cheap, and the rest of it is invaluable talent. So we're really excited about it and can't wait to wrap this up and move on to other things and submit this again for the Main Street recognition. Any questions? We will need to get with Steve on, well, we've already talked to him about what we need as far as street prep goes for that sort of thing. So we'll coordinate that.
Leon, I would just say, and I know I speak for my colleagues, that how much we appreciate the selection of the artists. The artists that you selected, Jamil and Max, they have like a vested interest in this community, and their handprints and their fingerprints are like all over this city.
Yeah.
And then when you consider the work that they do that people don't see, as it pertains to the work, that's done at the gate, the work that's done at Content near Savannah School, the work that's been done at Rochelle, what I'm saying? That means a lot. And so I think we appreciate selecting artists, who are Kinston. And so we thank you for that.
Well, sure. Well, we do have the largest public art collection in the state. We just might as well keep growing it every opportunity we get, right? All right, see everybody this Saturday morning at Pearson Park, 9 o'clock.
Thank you, Leon. Okay, moving on with appointments. Item number 1, consider reappointment to the Recreation Commission, Scott Alston.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. We have reappointment of Jimi Pope for her second term. This would be an at-large seat for the city, and she's currently on the Recreation Commission. She will have to rotate off after this second term, but this is for renewal of her second term for commission.
Okay, anybody got a question from the council? At this time, I entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Hardy, second.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Lifford to appoint Jimi Pope, reappointed back to the Recreation Commission. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Item number 2, consider appointment to the Planning Board of Adjustment by Elizabeth Blount for Robert Jones and Malinda Clark.
Thank you, Mayor. In your package, you received these 2 applications. I will say that there was a mistake in the memo from me, and the board currently has 7 members. And so these 2 will be alternates because at the last meeting, you appointed 2 folks. So that made a total of 9 on the board, and then these 2 will be 2 alternates, which that is in compliance with our ordinance. So a total of 9 people on the planning board, 2 alternates, and I am ecstatic to say, if you appoint these 2, we will have a completely full board.
Okay. Any questions from the council?
I just have one question. So the regular board is 7, and how are they staggered for appointments?
Talking about time limits?
Right.
So every member has, their term is 3 years, and it's based on when they are appointed. Now, I will say that before I came in 2023, that board had been out of commission for over 1.5 years. So, and then when I got them back together, it was a total of only 3 people. So to go from 3 to a total full board, and some of those will be staggered, they already started staggered and have already started, is an excellent testimony to the city of Kinston.
Okay, because when I first read it, I thought we had got 2 new people last week and 2 near now. I'm saying I hope we're not doing it 3 1 year and 4 the next, because having 4 new people on a board, but like I said, the board didn't have anybody, so
Right.
you're glad to have, come who will. But I just wondering, how did it stagger? So we could stagger it, so we won't be having a
Exactly.
void. But like I said, a lot of people join these different boards, and they start off good, and the attendance kind of fades off, but we're glad to have them on board.
Excellent. Also, the ones that were on the board, they are committed to stay. They committed to stay for many years until we can have enough to be actually up and operational. So kudos to those as well.
Okay.
So what does the alternate do? They just fill in for, like, when it's time, somebody's term is up, they'll just roll right in?
Absolutely. And then when there's someone that is absent, they will have the full rights of a regular board member.
Okay. More questions from the council? Okay, at this time, we entertain a motion to consider the appointment to the planning board, 2 alternates, Robert Jones. The motion? Motion by Councilmember Solomon, second. Second.
Mm-hmm. Second.
Second by Councilmember Lifford. All in favor, vote by saying aye. All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried. Hold on, Rap. We're gonna do Malinda Clark, Jones first. Consider appointment to the planning board as an alternate for Malinda Clark. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Hardy, second. Second by Councilmember Aiken. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right. Seeing none, motion carried.
Right, I'm gonna go down here and see
Okay.
if I can do mine.
Okay. Ralph is gonna give you guys the city manager's report.
Yeah, that was so you might be careful about what you say. Mr. Mayor and Council, I did my report a little different tonight, but I have a couple of agenda items that I want your consideration on. And the first one being what we call a corridor aesthetics and improvement and demolition project. And it's two projects here. One is a joint effort between the city of Kinston and the county of Lenoir. And the second one is a city of Kinston and it by itself, we call a companion project. And the first project, the joint project, we will, our goal is to clean up the corridors as far as unsafe and unsightly buildings. Or even in our case, it's going to be not only buildings, but it's going to be some cleanup yards and whatever. But I've talked with the county manager since I've been here, and it was one of the earlier comments, and it all started with the community college, the warehouse across from the community college, and we talked about, how unsightly that looked, and needless to say, I don't know whether our conversations generated someone to clean it up or whatever, but we talked about doing a joint project of doing this, and I said, okay, not a bad idea, I'd like to see if we could do it. But then as we proceeded with this, we said, well, why don't we not only clean up the corridors, why don't we see about if we can figure out how to clean up the city, some of the dilapidated housing that we have in the city. And I say dilapidated, I mean unsafe, because I have to be careful with that word because condemnation typically talks about unsafe structures. And we have gone back and forth, and I've attached most of my notes that over the period of the last 40 days about what we're trying to accomplish. And we have taken pictures of all these, and I've got a list to start showing you some of the pictures that we do, that we're properties that we're targeting. And Linda, okay, yes. And we start here back in the Mitchelltown area. And this was a structure, as I understand, the buyer bought this property primarily for the slate roof. And they took the slate roof off and just disappeared. So this is what's been left yet. I don't know how many years it's been like this, but it looks like it's been a number of years. Go ahead, another one. And basically, we're going to try to show you as many of these slides as we can to give you examples of the areas we're targeting. And go ahead, just flip through them. And to show you, how bad things are and how neglected the properties have been. Some of them have been structures that had fires, and some of them you see that actually they don't look too bad on the outside, but they've had fire damage on the inside. And trying to do this, and I say with what we're proposing, it's almost like a once in a lifetime in a city, because the fact that when you've attempted to do this over the years, and it's just hard to find enough dollars to create a project like this in one fiscal year. And fortunately, we're having some revenues that are exceeding our expenditures, like our revenue estimates, and I feel like that there's enough funding there to take care of the projects. So, and we're going to flip through these pretty quickly, but trying to show exactly what it is we're doing, what we're attempting to. The corridors we're talking about are all the major corridors coming into Kinston, which includes 11, 55, 58, 70, 258, MLK, and Queen Street. And as you can see, most of these I think that we're talking about, that we have pictures of here tonight, are the ones located inside of our city project. We've identified some 40 to 50 different sites that we're going to be focusing on at our attention span with this project. Okay, tell me what that is. Back up. Okay, This shows the distribution of the properties that we've identified in the city that are at least a target of ours. And understanding that even when we do this demolition, yes, it's an initial expense, but the money comes back to us because of the fact that once we do this, we add administrative fees and legal fees on. And then if the property owner does not pay this, it goes back against the property as a lien. And as they dispose of the property, whether it's sale or whatever, the money we get our share of money back. So it's not one of those things it's a total cost. It's just you have to wait to get your money back.
But it's a time frame, when you put on the lien, you're looking at about another year, 9 months to a year before you can even obtain the property.
That's correct.
When I had a friend excuse me for interrupting, but I had a friend up in DC, and I asked them, how did they do it? They said that they advertised it to all of the areas, just put it in the paper, this property, you got 30 days to heirs or anybody that owns it, we haven't contacted you. If you don't contact us in 30 days, they use eminent domain or they just said, okay, it's ours.
Yeah.
I don't know if the state would let us do that, but
I'm not
that's the
sure
quickest
how
way.
the statutes read, and I know it's a process we have to go through, first of all, through the condemnation side. You know, the property owner still has lots of rights, but my point is that, yes, you'd have to wait to do it, but if you continue to let them sit there, all you're doing is just keeping your eyes sore, it's getting worse. So I said that, and at this point, I see the opportunity here to accomplish this. And no, it won't happen overnight because of the fact that this is going to be probably at least a 2-year project and maybe even longer to tear down 40 to 50 properties inside the city, and then you got another 20 outside in the corridors. So it's a long project, and we're asking, you know, we're trying to double up by having the county to handle the corridor part of it, and the city handle the other. So I don't see it happening overnight, but I do see getting started and getting the funds appropriated and putting these into what we talk about a capital project. And when you describe a capital project, it means that you can carry these funds over for a year or two to make them happen. Tonight, I've incorporated into this memo a memorandum of understanding, and I have a draft copy, but I would be requesting that you adopt that with the for the joint project with the county, and understanding that the projects, you know, as we get through these, you know, they will all be, both county and city will be approved by you, and this is what I'm hoping I'll gain tonight, that you'll approve the conceptual part of it, to say, okay, proceed with it, we will come back with the proper budget ordinances and whatever. So I guess right now I'm asking you to approve the memorandum of understanding, and I've asked Jim to review this. He says very similar to the one you just approved.
Ralph, before, let me say to my council members before we vote on this, I have some concerns. And the reason I have some concerns is because we have done a lot of demolition, and we have spent a lot of money doing demolition, but we don't get anything in return in demoing all these properties. So my suggestion to the council is this: if we take it those blighted properties, which y'all saw on the map, they're blighted properties, if we would take a portion of the money that we're talking about spending and focus on those blighted areas where we can get private partners to come in with the city to help develop those blighted areas, is where we should be focusing on. Because when we do all this demolition and we ain't building nothing back, what good is it really doing the city other than to look good? We want some return on our investment. That's what I see. So what I would suggest is, if we're gonna spend this money, then we need to take a portion of that money and we need to put it toward our legal obligations so that the attorney can go ahead and proceed with the legal process. So that way, once the legal process is done, it won't take 3 or 4 years for somebody to see all this money we spending. This could be a turnover where we can get, have a private partner investor come in, and we could be doing tiny houses, or either, other housing that's affordable for those areas. We always talking about not doing nothing for people on the east side of Kinston. This is a great opportunity for us to go along with the demo part, but take a portion of that money and turn it towards our legal obligations so that we can get things done quicker. So I ask the council, if we're gonna vote to do this, let's take a portion of that money, put it towards our legal obligations, so this project can move quicker, so the people can see that we're trying to do something about our affordable housing in our community and on the east side of Kinston. So before you take that vote just on the demolition part, think about what I'm saying to you. Because we do a lot of demolition in Kinston, but we never see any rebuilding. And we need that rebuilding.
Councilman, if I hear you correctly, what you're saying it would possibly look like is once we start, like we have the properties identified. Right. But it would be like do the clusters. Correct. And you're saying like if we do the clusters, right, and then from there we begin to.
Well, as part of our process, we talked about doing groupings of properties. And yeah, yeah. But legal is incorporated into the price of this. In basically, if I hear you correctly, you want to go ahead and not only tear them down, but go through the process of condemning, placing the lien and then taking of the property, right, is what you're saying. And we have incorporated that into the price of some of the demolition process.
But is it in the demolition projects for the blighted areas, or are we just talking about in general?
It would be for all the properties we identified. Oh, and see, not only that, you have some, I think several $100,000 of liens on properties that you have not recorded. So we need to do that too as well.
That's the point I'm making. My point is, we have to have a obligation from our attorney that's our number one priority. To get this process, this lien, that we don't put these liens on, but we ain't taking no action because we're not getting anything built.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think that would be kind of a separate phase of once you get the properties down and able to identify what it is you have liens on. I think
Ms. Blount, could you help me out are we striking with the planning office that we getting these liens done, that we can be able to see some building done within a year or a year and a half instead of 4 or 5 years down the road?
I see the building being a separate project. You know, we've talked about affordable housing in your joint committee, and I see that as being creating an opportunity here if affordable housing is your desire. But when you start talking about demolition and condemnation of properties, I think when you start saying, well, you're going to condemn this property so you can actually get your hands on it, I'm not sure if that's a legal approach.
Mr. Attorney, can you intervene, please?
Yeah, it's a complicated subject, but there's not general condemnation that is eminent domain authority for redevelopment. I mean, when you think about eminent domain, condemnation, not condemnation as in code enforcement, but condemnation as in the taking of property for public use. You usually think about parks and firehouses and police stations and city halls and courthouses and utilities like water, sewer, electric, and those types of projects. But there is a process where a city can establish a redevelopment commission that can then undertake that kind of redevelopment that I think you're talking about. it requires some additional administrative, involvement, quite a bit, actually. But that would then, once you go through that process, that, redevelopment commission process, you have to, that redevelopment commission has to, adopt a plan of redevelopment. That plan of redevelopment has to meet certain statutory requirements with respect to blight. The area has to be blighted in order for you to trigger your condemnation authority. That area has to meet the statutory requirements for blight, and that's a defined term. So there's a process that you'd have to stand up this commission in order to undertake the redevelopment side of it. And there's some cost and some administrative expense associated with that. The foreclosure process you can do today. You don't have to create a redevelopment commission, but you could not condemn other than under code enforcement condemnation. Could not condemn property unless you'd gone through that redevelopment commission process. So that's kind of seat of the pants on a complex subject, but I've seen examples of it done. I've been involved in examples of it. I haven't had a client do it recently, but there is a statutory process that allows that to be used. And then once you've got a redevelopment plan and you've acquired the property within that redevelopment area, then you can partner with a redeveloper to put houses back like you're talking about, affordable houses.
So Jim, am I hearing you say that, in essence, what's happening is we pretty much got to do the demolition process first and then get with the redevelopment process with the public and private nonprofits to start redeveloping in that particular area? I think what Pearl is probably asking is, can we legally take care of this before we even start taking down any houses? So that way when house one come down, he know that the week after, if we want to start putting something back there, we can do that. But I think what Ralph is saying is that he see where Pearl is going at, but this is step one. And then after we have acquired this blighted property, got it cleared off or whatever, then we can partner with somebody to come in and redevelop. I mean, because I guess we're trying to figure out,
Yeah,
we're going to have a legal hurdle after this, or is it something that's just part of A, B, C, and D?
I think there are advantages to having them run sort of parallel.
Right.
Because what you'll find when you're acquiring property is that it might look like a snaggletooth area where you got several here and then you got gaps that you don't own, that you haven't acquired, that might qualify for acquisition. And it's hard to create a redevelopment plan when you've got a mix match like that. Right. Whereas if you had contiguous property acquired for redevelopment, that's more attractive to a developer. You also run into things like where are the meters? You know, you got utility meters in place already, but you might not subdivide the new acquired property in the same way that the property lines have existed for decades. Maybe because of lot sizes or other reasons. Might be small, narrow lots, and you want to go back with larger lots. So in my way of thinking, there's an advantage to running those processes at least overlapping, because if you remove all the blight first, then you're not going to be able to create a redevelopment plan based on the existence of blight. And so it's good to have them running sort of on top of each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's basically what this plan is, right? That's what this plan is, right?
Yeah. And Jim, as I understand, cities have a procedure to dispose of property. We couldn't just go get a developer. You have to create the redevelopment plan, and we can in turn cities can transfer the land ownership to the redevelopment authority with no question.
Pursuant to a redevelopment process, and usually that is a competitive process. It's put out for proposals, so you get different developers interested in
Yeah.
coming
that's
in
done-
and building 20 or 30.
But that's done by the redevelopment authority, is that right?
Right, but what I've seen is that the redevelopment authority typically mirrors the council.
Yeah.
Usually the council creates it itself.
But trying to get the blight out is what I'm trying to accomplish here. And yes, it's spending a lot of money, but I think that, you know, if you don't start removing this blight, you won't ever make any progress. Oh, I see the blight is holding up everything you've got today. And it's been doing this. We've got properties that I left in 2008 that should have been taken down in 2008. Unfortunately, we never had enough money to tear down what needed to be torn down. So, you know, I'm proposing something that says, let's at least get rid of the blight today. You've got neighborhoods, you've got houses everywhere that have been standing there for years, and nothing's been done. I'm proposing to at least clean up your neighborhoods.
Yeah, I mean, the process of redevelopment could be looked at while you're doing that.
Right. Yeah.
There's really no reason not to move forward.
Because if we approve the plan, we prioritize the structures that in the order in which we want to see them come down. Is that correct?
You could do that. I think that would, the planning department could do that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then with that being said, the possibility is still there. Like I said, you know, back to the conversation of clustering. If we do it in clusters, we're still demolishing, but then once we get the cluster, you may have those developers that are coming in and still saying, whoa, I like this.
Yeah.
Which means, as you're saying, they can both run synonymously with each other. We're still demolishing.
Yeah.
But then, depending on how strategically we identify the properties, you still have those developers that may come in and say, I want to develop this piece of.
But still, based on what Mr. Cawley's saying, the redevelopment authority, or what is it? I'm using the right word there?
Commission.
Commission is the appropriate way to go with that, because the fact that cities are limited as how you can dispose of properties. But the redevelopment authority has more leeway than we do to deal with that developer.
Yeah, and you don't end up doing it one lot at the time. You tend to do it multiple tracks at one time. And then you see the benefit of, you actually see some improvement.
Right. And that's what I was saying. From the pictures they showed up here, we had the area on Thompson Street I saw that the cluster of houses on Harvey Street. They on the east side of Kinston. Those are what I'm saying. We need to focus on those areas first, and then we go and reach out to the commission, and then we move from there. Because if we just go on this demolition and not focus on the area and hitting this over there, one house over there, like the attorney said, you kicking the can down the road.
Oh, you saying focus one area first and then move to the next area.
That's kind of what the commission does. The board is, they're really targeting the high blight areas specifically and then moving in that particular, like you're saying, I mean, really, that's, in a nutshell, that's pretty much what this board consists of. I mean, I sat on it. So, you know, when you look at what the plans are with the county and the city, I don't think we're going to be holding up on development. I mean, really, I think you guys are going to be green light, go. But we got to start cleaning up this blight. Ms. C4?
Oh, you go.
Go ahead. No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm listening to what's going on, but I feel that, and I think many of us feel that the east side needs help. And if we're going to do something here in Kinston to make it look better, then you're talking about blight, I think that's where we need to start. And I'm listening to you all, and I agree with what you're saying, but I think the focus would this be the area where we need to start, to me?
Well, you think about Martin Luther King Boulevard. It's a corridor coming into Kinston. It's the main corridor for most people coming from Greenville and other areas. Where are we talking about? We're talking about Thompson Street, Harvey Street. Where are they connected to? Martin Luther King Boulevard.
And I think that should be our focus. East Side has been neglected. I've been here 40 years. It has been neglected a long time. So if we're going to do something to our city, then we need to help the area where we think needs the most help. That's my concern.
Ralph, how much east side you got on there? I mean,
See the red spots up there? Huh?
that's MLK.
Okay, yeah,
Right there where the red spots is.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, probably 60% of the properties are in that
Okay,
area.
right.
And yes, I'm not debating as to where you start, I'm just saying you need to start. And, you won't, if you continue to talk about it, you've talked about the demolition for the last 40 years, I think. And what happens is, we get conversation, but we don't take any action. And I think what I'm proposing is you take some action, at least start removing the blight. And yes, yes, we would like to do affordable housing, but I think you have to clean up some areas and figure out what it is you own before you start trying to build affordable housing. And
Well, we own, right? I mean, well, we don't own it, but it's areas that we know is a focus for the council and the community. And that's where, whether it's through that's why I say that we need a legal fund. We gotta have a legal.
I would suggest taking a look at city-owned parcels and see if you've got a cluster of those parcels. You may have a potential redevelopment area
already
in
there.
existence right now.
Yeah, and just
that you
tying
could
some of these
start
in
that.
and just trying to put them all in. See, at this point, we just scattered everywhere, and this is gonna hopefully connect some of those places. Oh,
And I understand what you're saying, because you said 60% is what we're looking at, but you also have the other 40, what's going to happen to the other 40. And I think areas that are blight and have been this way for a long time, I feel that more emphasis, more energy, and the money should be put there, because I feel that these citizens deserve it also. So that should be our focus. And I'm a bit passionate about it, East Kinston.
and I don't say that East Kinston will not be the focus. I'm just saying you've got a whole everywhere across the whole city. And yes, if you focused on that area in the East Kinston, east of MLK, I don't see any problem in doing that, starting your process there. It's just getting the process started and getting it funded so that it will continue on. And at this point, you have funds to do it. Tomorrow, June 30th, those funds won't be there. They'll be just wrapped back up into your investments, into your cash. And it's so hard to pull them back out of your budget. It's what I'm trying to tell you from experience. When you start looking at your demolition budget for the last 10 years, and I would dare say you have maybe, you won't average $100,000 a year. You probably will average $60,000, $70,000 a year.
It was that figure, because I remember we started tearing down the blighted areas, and that doesn't go for $60,000. We've torn down over 30 houses in East Kinston, probably about 40 or 50. And you got to look at the cause and effect. Why are these families leaving these houses? Where are they neglecting, moving to different cities, the elderly dying off and the children? It's going to be a continuous cycle if you don't stop it from where it's coming from, but that's a big task. But another thing is, it takes us $3,000 to $13,000 to tear down a house. The biggest cost is taking it to the landfill, and the second cost is the legal fee. If it's 5 people in the family, one of them die, and he's got 4 children, the attorney got to contact every member, and that's about $350 for every letter you send out. So, you know, that's a big cost right there. So 200,000 won't go far, but it's a start, like you said.
Right, but my thing is, Mr. Attorney, my question is, how long or is there any way you can expedite the necessary things you need to do to make sure that these properties that we do identify can get done quickly? Because I'm just being honest with you. I've been on the council 7 years now, and we've been down this road before, demoing. And then all these legal issues come up and all these other things, and I'm just honest with everybody. I haven't seen anything built. I keep seeing everything torn down. Yeah, we make an area look good for a while. Okay, people could get quiet. Then there still becomes a question. You spend all this money demoing, and nothing comes back. That's the only thing I'm saying. I don't expect it to happen overnight. I'm not crazy. But I know, like I said, I've been up here 7 years. And I want to see something in return for money we keep spending for demo.
How about if the manager and the planning director and I sit down and see if we can give you a faster track plan to
That'd be ideal.
I mean, just to kind of brainstorm some and see what we can find that the city already owns, what might be available in clusters that wouldn't require a lot of acquisition. And then, you know, we can go over the urban redevelopment law, and there'd be some decisions to make if you want to go down that path, but we can at least explain it and talk about it.
But, I mean, are we doing this in addition to
In addition to what the
approving
manager suggested.
this demolition plan?
That would be my suggestion,
Okay,
yeah.
so this is in addition to approving the demolition plan?
Yes,
Okay.
I would think so.
Yeah.
If you want to see any kind of efforts at redevelopment, then it would be in addition to what the manager suggested.
And the reason, I just want the rest of the council members to understand why I'm so adamant about this. I've been on the council 7 years. I have traveled around to all these conferences, and I have seen other cities do it. And we keep saying we're gonna do it, and we got the funding now to start. Like you said, we got the funding now to make a move to do it. So my thing is, let's do it and see some return from it. And let's stop kicking the can down the road, and let's just stop all the mouthing and let's see something. That's all I'm saying.
One of the citizens had brought up something about the county had like about $16 million idle, and we're putting in 200,000, and they're putting in 300,000 in this.
No, it's a 1-for-1, not 200 and 300, so 1-for-1 on a joint issue.
Okay, excuse me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we just worked together on tearing down the old Super 8 on Highway 70.
Yeah.
You know, we put money into that. Let's get the green light and go for it. So.
Okay. Well, as I said, first of all, my time's limited here. And when I tell you June 30th is kind of a deadline, I'm serious, because the fact that I've identified some funds that are in the current budget that are available to do this. But I can tell you, when June 30th, those funds don't disappear. They just get unbudgeted, and you have to go back and start the process again. And I see this getting a start at getting toward some of the goals you've got. And I think that when you start talking about building houses and affordable housing, and the thing that we have to look at in today's world is, what is affordable? I mean, we start looking at affordable, that's a difficult topic.
Right, I'm just saying from my experience and what I've been around and seen, we talking about a tiny house community, which is affordable. We talking about container houses, which is affordable, and we talking about duplex. We got that property that at the end of Harvey Street, that those people had that building all that time. Done been through 3 owners, Ain't nobody did anything with them apartment buildings. Been through 3 owners. You know what I'm talking about? The apartments right there by Alpha and Omega Church. That property right there. If y'all can relate to it, people live here in the community, 3 or 4 owners. Still sitting there, what, boarded up, nobody done nothing with it, you know?
I would say this, I think we should go ahead and approve this, this demolition plan, but that we cannot drop, you know, those concerns that, Councilman Hardy has raised. Like I said, we go ahead and approve the plan, because also with conversations that we've held about making sure that we have, you're looking at contractors to make sure that these properties in the city are maintained. Those are those conversations. So what we've seen in some cases is that properties have been cleared, but then there's the issue of the lack of maintenance.
Yeah.
So in conversations that we've held with our interim manager here, he's also looking at making sure that we secure individuals that can maintain, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the grown-up brush and things that we're seeing. And then that way, with the properties that we already own, you have developers that can look into an area and see the possibilities. You also then have members in a community that are no longer concerned about the people that are living in some of these dilapidated houses, some of the rodents that are coming out of this dilapidation. So I think that we go ahead and get this done, because there are funds that have, new funds that have been tapped into that we did not know that we had available to us. But then the conversation still continues about how do you expedite it? And how do we begin building on what we already exist and making sure that we got the funds to support legal?
Well, I think Mr. Cawley pointed out that that's a second step, that's a second phase, that we get this started and we focus on the East Kinston area as far as, you know, those early demos, and then we come back with a plan of saying, okay, how many properties do we own, and where are they, and where can you cluster to get enough for buildable lots? So I think that if you get approved tonight for first of all, the joint project, which is completely separate from what we're talking about.
Right.
And then the second would be that the conceptual plan be done for our part of the project. So I would ask that you approve the memorandum of understanding, and, you know, at least approve the conceptual part of what I'm asking. And Mr. Cawley and Elizabeth and I will sit and work and figure out exactly what we will have in the end.
It's like stakeholders, like the board of, I think the North County, I don't know if you have a board of realtors or something like that. We should get more of those people involved in some of this planning or whatever, see what some of their thoughts are on, you know, redeveloping of Kinston. Since I've been here, I can't recall of us having any type of symposium, meeting of the minds with the realtors or the developers.
Well, I think those pieces come under your redevelopment commission. You know, that's not a function that we as a city government operating, but it's something where you have the authority to have that commission that can be even, you know, we talked about the makeup of the board of the redevelopment group. You could even have some of them on that board rather than appointing yourself.
Okay. Ralph, I don't want us to get off subject, because I know that some of the conversation has crossed over from what we actually supposed to be voting on here. But we do have a new council, and we are moving Kinston forward. So I understand we have some concerns about what used to happen, but that was like yesterday. So today we have a new vision, and I think we'll be okay going forward. We do need to be careful about these properties that we put in people's hands that sit idle and they don't do anything with them after they get them. We can put covenants and requirements, you know, as they get these properties, so that 4 or 5 years down the line, you don't see any development. But I think this is a great joint effort, and at a time where we can actually start to show our citizens some type of progress as we get out in the community and aggressively attack this blight, and at the same process, aggressively redevelop our community. We got what it takes. So if you guys have any more questions for Ralph, at this time I entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Solomon. Second by Councilmember Les Lifford to consider approval of the request. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right.
No.
One opposed, ayes have it. Motion carried.
Now, is that including the two things I asked?
Which two you asking for?
For the
outside?
MOU, the memorandum of understanding
It's right
with the
here.
county,
Okay, now,
and the concept of the proposal.
And
I
Mr. Mayor,
understood it to be the MOU with
MOU?
the county, and then the city-focused portion that
Yeah,
you had.
and see, we'll have to come back next month, at next meeting, for putting a project ordinance together with a funding source.
right.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to make this one statement. Now, from my understanding, we're doing 200,000, right? With
For
the
the
county.
joint,
Joint.
yes.
County. And we doing how much for the city?
I'm saying 300,000 for the city.
If we doing 300,000 for the city, I'm asking the council if we could take part of that 300,000 and turn it toward legal fees.
But legal fees are incorporated into most of this process. I mean, when you start going through all these processes, we're gonna involve the attorney. So I think I would.
Is it enough money to get it done?
Oh, I think you'll make a really big dent in it, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you feel like there's enough efficient funds in there to handle what we getting ready to do?
Well, we'll go as far as it goes.
See, that's the
can't-
thing, cause now, what happens, we get hung up where we can't move forward cause there ain't enough funding.
I can't tell you what the status of the titles are on the
Yeah.
properties we're talking about.
We can't down the road.
If we
Yeah, but
hit some
But
that
can't we
they've
can
got
approve
50
more money,
acres.
right?
No, you don't have to approve any money tonight. He asked for numbers.
Now, he was talking about, what if we get hung up on money, can't we approve more money?
Well, you could approve more. I just think that, what we're hoping is to get some of the blight, someone that just getting a starting point
Yeah, we
to
need to-
get this project moving, and so you at least have something to work with. I see creating that development authority as a tool, that you're gonna need to make all this whole puzzle come together. And that's gonna depend solely on you as a council to make that work. See, and you're talking about legal, so you got legal in two different places. You got legal in the redevelopment authority, but also you got legal in the condemnations and in the demo, everything, so, there's a whole lot of pieces that the attorney will be involved.
I think you got it, Pearl, without giving them some extra money right now. I think it's in there. Is there, do y'all want to try to amend?
I'm good.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
May I ask for the motion to be clarified so that,
Yeah, we will, because what I'm looking at on the paperwork and what Ralph is saying, I carried the motion the way it's on the agenda, so I want to make sure we clarify exactly what he needs. That's why we didn't carry it just yet, so. Ms. Seafour, you want to ask Ralph something before we move?
it's joint, the motion is already carried.
There were two separate pieces here that I asked.
Yeah.
I asked for the memorandum of understanding in the agreement with Lenore County, and that was one of the motions. And the second one I asked for was approval of the concept that we're approaching, or we're trying to, because we'll have to come back and provide funding for you, a funding request to do this. So, I'm trying to see if you'll let me move forward.
Okay, yeah. So we carried the motion on the MOI, right? Okay, so now you want the, you want to move forward on you want a motion on the concept, right?
Yes.
Okay, at this time, we entertain a motion to adopt the concept, for the corridor aesthetic improvement. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Ledford, and second? Second?
Second.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Solomon. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, have the
No.
same right. One opposed, motion carried. Okay.
All right.
So that's two.
I'm standing here, I'll finish up. I got two more pieces.
Okay.
I want you to consider a resolution withdrawing the city of Kinston from the Eastern Carolina Council of Governments. And I don't know if you followed the news recently, and I tried to provide you as much information as I had, but the COG is really struggling. It's been struggling for some time, but little by little, they're down to basically a skeleton crew. If you read all the notes they sent me, they're just not able to provide any services. And I contend through my correspondence to you that a lot of it has been based on the makeup of the membership, the governing membership of that board over the years. And it's not uncommon to see this in COGS. But what happens is you've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 counties with all the towns in them involved, and they just are, the leadership has not been able to adjust to the needs of those communities, and little by little, they've dried up, and the funding has dried up, and right now, the membership has dried up, and if we're gonna withdraw, we have to do it tonight, so I have to notify, I have to give a 60-day notice to the other members of the COG, and I will tell you that Lenore County withdrew last night or yesterday. Greene County's out, LaGrange is out. I know that I've seen in the last just few days, so I am saying that we need to get out before we become obligated for next year's dues.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Ralph. Any questions from the council? Okay. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to consider approval withdrawal from the membership of the Neuse River Council of Governments. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Aiken, and second by Councilmember Ledford. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
And Mayor, this is a resolution that we've prepared for you as the withdrawal resolution, so just be sure that we send it.
Sign. Okay, thank you. All opposed have the same right? Seeing none, motion carried.
All right, may well stay here, finish up.
Okay.
The rest of my little report, the city council meeting scheduled for May 5th, you have a real conflict there, and all of you are going to be going to meetings, and so I'm recommending that we actually cancel that meeting, the May 5th meeting, and while you're canceling that one, we've got one scheduled for May 21st as a pre-budget workshop. So I would recommend that you have a motion first to cancel a May 5th meeting, regular city council meeting, and to schedule a pre-budget informational work session for May 21, 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock at the City of Kinston Public Service Complex in the main training room. So I would request that in the form of a motion to do that.
Okay. At this time, we entertain a motion to cancel the May 5th meeting and reschedule for May 21st at the Public Service Complex.
Motion.
Motion by Councilmember Aiken, a second. Second by Councilmember Ledford. All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed have the same right.
Okay, then,
Seeing none, motion carried.
sorry, I'm getting ahead of you. Sorry, I got ahead of you.
All
The city manager recruitment process, I got an update I attached today, and the one is some significant dates on here that she's talked about. And the first one, that it's a candidate review meeting, it's gonna be virtual, and she's suggesting we do it at the 19th of May council meeting. And she's asking, do we want to do it before the meeting or after the meeting?
What, the 19th?
19th. That's your regular council meeting, your second council meeting.
Let's do it.
Would the plan be to
before?
start early?
We can
Ralph?
start it early.
Is that what was, or start at 5:30 or start early? Just trying to think about how we do the notice on it.
I think you would probably, I'm not sure, because I talked to the mayor about it. I said, if you do it early, then you have to come in and convene as a meeting, then go into a closed section to
Right.
go do this. I don't, it's up to you, whatever you want to do, because I'm going to be here by either time.
I mean, I would prefer to do it before the meeting.
I prefer to do it before the meeting, which,
What time?
What time y'all think?
What time?
what time y'all thinking?
I would suspect it'll take at least an hour. What she's gonna do is, she's gonna kind of review the candidates. Well, we do 4, and if we go over, we just come back in. We just won't get started back here at 5:30, but you could do that.
For that, for the, you
We
said
could,
4.
we could notice a special meeting for a closed session at 4 o'clock.
Okay, so,
Does that work? Ma'am? That work?
okay. And the first round of virtual interviews is June 4th, and that's probably, I'm thinking you'll probably have at least four interviews, so you better allocate at least 4 hours of your time that day,
What day?
June 4th.
Ralph, you hitting us with a lot of dates. Mayor,
What was that date again?
June 4th.
that's the interview, right? Virtual, 4 hours. What is it?
And
June 4th?
Got
how
one
many
more.
will be allotted on that day?
Huh?
How many interviews will be given on that day?
Well, I don't know how many she'll be doing, but it's whatever time you want. It's just, I'm saying you need to allocate probably at least 4 hours.
I would suggest around noon.
What time we talking about?
I would suggest around, if you can begin around 11 or 12 noon. I mean, the earlier you can start, the better.
And what happens if it extends over? Then you're already here. Okay, 11 o'clock?
On June 4th.
Wait a minute, we have a suggestion of 10.
Okay,
I mean,
We
yeah.
might go over.
the
On what
earlier
day is
the
it?
better.
June 4th?
okay.
They saying 10 on here, y'all are with 10 on June the 4th. June the 4th, right?
I got an auction
June the
that
4th,
day.
yeah.
You got an auction.
Gotta change that date.
Don't
I
work
got the
with
auction, I gotta make some money. I gotta take care of the cities.
that. Uh-oh.
I got an auction on June 4th.
We
Okay.
having brunch, right?
Tell me. Yeah, I'm just reading off of her notes. And then the next one is June 23rd. And I do have an alternate date for that one. And that one we will be meeting in Mr. Carley's office.
The only thing that's scary about the first interviews being June 23rd, that's so late. If you do June 4th, you still have another opportunity. The earlier we do, you still have other opportunities if there's individuals that we need to call back to
Yeah.
interview again.
Yeah, cause you gonna try to be out here by June 30th. Let's do June 4th. Yeah.
Oh, and yes, you're gonna call them back. That's a
Right.
June 23rd callback. That's when you're gonna see them in person.
Right.
On June 4th, you will determine who you want to call back. Oh, but if you want to, she didn't give me another day for the June 23rd, other than June 25th.
June 23rd, we doing what? Call back?
No, this gonna be in the attorney's office.
June 4 virtual, and then June 23 or 25
And Les,
live.
can you tap in virtual?
Yeah, we good. And that's on the 4th, right?
Right.
And then on the 23rd, what we doing?
Live with your final candidates.
Found a candidate.
Got it.
So 10 o'clock on June 4th.
10 o'clock, I got 10 a.m., okay? Now, June 23rd, these will be in-person interviews. So probably some very similar time.
10 a.m.? 10 a.m. Yeah, that's fine.
The last time we met him in Jim's office, the attorney office, didn't you?
We did, we
Yeah,
did.
just what I said would be, these would be in his office.
23rd.
Yeah,
I'm available about any time.
anytime, okay. I got one I can handle. I can handle anytime.
All right, good.
Okay, getting any consensus on the June 23rd?
We good.
Yeah, we good.
10 o'clock.
10 a.m. on both of them?
Yeah.
10 a.m.
Get everything you want, Ralph.
Okay. And the last thing I have is that on the lobbyist contract, we have canceled that. Once we canceled it, they went back and said, oh, by the way, we forgot to bill you for 3 months. So anyway, it's done,
If you forgot, that means it's gone.
sir.
If they forgot, we ain't gotta pay them.
Well, they have an agreement with us. That's why I was encouraging you to go ahead and do something, because I knew the clock was running.
How much did we forget that? Was it more than 7,000?
No, 2 months, he said 2 months were at 6 and one was 7,500. 7,500 was the standard rate that we agreed to.
Okay.
Mayor, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Ralph. All right. This time, city attorney?
No report, Mayor, but sounds like plenty of work to do.
I know that's right. Council, Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes, I would like, if possible, if I could ask for Evangelist McLemore to come forward to just simply announce the upcoming day of prayer.
Okay, thank you. Ms. McLemore?
Yes.
Thank you.
So much, Pro Tem, amen, Felicia Solomon, and I didn't come for this, but I did come for a reason. But anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to me. I appreciate that. Yes, the National Day of Prayer has always been at the Granges Stadium. For the last 7 years, I've hosted. This year, due to the bird Dawgs, I heard they're having a 3-day conference. So the National Day of Prayer will be held now at Pearson Park. This will be held May the 7th at 12 noon. Please come out, everybody, if you can. The Parks and Recs Department has already told me they're going to bring chairs and tables and I think tents. And the reason I wanted to address the council tonight was because I got some phone calls, and some people are asking for the city council, or I don't know who I need to speak to provide cases of water. We are going to be having, right after the National Day of Prayer, which usually is held for 1 hour, right after we will be having a prayer walk. I've already spoke to Chief Goyette about it. They're going to provide 2 cars for us. Actually, we were supposed to walk from Granges Stadium to the courthouse. That was about approximately, I think Chief Goyette said 8 blocks. So now that it's been relocated to Pearson Park, it's a shorter distance. So we're still going to do the power prayer walk. How many know we need some power and to be visible in our communities? The church needs to be visible, and I'm a stickler for that, and that's what I do, outreach. I'm visible in the community, and it's so important that we be visible. We're going to be walking and praying, amen, to push back darkness, to drive out these demons and devils of murder, these copycat spirits. Y'all know they're all out here. This is what I do. I do what I love, and I have a passion for outreach. It's time for the church to come out, isn't that right? And be visible in the community. And so, having said that, I did get a couple of phone calls. They want to know, can city council or anybody can provide water on that day. I'm a little disappointed, actually, because my city council members have always attended my national prayer, but I heard you guys have a conference too. So I totally understand. I'm always used to having my mayor. He comes every year with the proclamation. Am I right? Amen, Ms. Solomon? And he comes with our proclamation every year. So I just heard you guys are going to be at a conference. So I'm like, oh, well, Lord, I'll get who I get. So I don't know who, unless you want to send a representative, somebody, some constituent, somebody that can say some on your behalf. Mayor Moore, if you have a representative, somebody to come out. If not,
We get the county commissioner.
We'll send some water, though. We will send some water.
oh, that's a good thing. I'll let my people know that. No representative, nobody? If not, I'll just get some of the pastors.
We can give them time. Give them time to kind of think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time and your attention. Be blessed. Y'all pray for us.
Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you. Okay, Hardy?
Just want everybody to be reminded of, Rochelle received an award as well, for their great achievement this year. So we want to try to find a time to bring them in and, recognize them as well. Also, Nell Pittman, day is on Saturday. They do a walk to raise funding for her. We hope if, you can't show up, that you would make a donation. What else? I think that's about it.
What time's the walk Saturday, Pearl?
I think it started at 11 to 2. It starts at 11 and go to 2.
All right.
River Life Church
Life Church.
over on Seacrest.
Okay.
And the walk is within the campus of the church, right? It's not in the streets.
Right, and they will, they walk around the parking lot of the church, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, Kinston has a Toastmasters organization, and they'll be having their 75th anniversary in September. Hopefully, we can maybe get a proclamation or something for the Toastmasters. I'm the vice president of membership. We meet on the second Tuesday at 6 p.m. Virtually on Zoom. So we're looking for new members. You can just contact me, and we have on the second Tuesday we have the Kinston chapter, but we have an international chapter on the fourth Tuesday, and this is at 6 p.m. also. We have people from Japan, China, Africa, England, and it's a good program. I first heard of Toastmasters in the 90s when I first got here. Mayor Mosley, he was one of the Toastmasters. He had a little slight stuttering problem, and he said it was great for him. And I used to say and taking that class, less ahs, but I say butter now, so kind of improved a little bit. But if anybody want to join, just contact me, and it's the second Tuesday at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Les?
No, look like the department's here ready to go. Thanks a lot, y'all. Appreciate what y'all do for us.
Are they awake? This is a long meeting. Ms. C4, you have anything? Okay. All right, I don't have anything either. And now I entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Councilmember Aiken, second by Councilmember Lifford. All in favor, vote by saying aye. Meeting adjourned.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.